been injured in an accident? One thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on your YouTube machine on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. Hello. Good to see you. 1 week from today, I will not be working. I will be getting ready to be fat, and it'll be the eve of Thanksgiving awesomeness. I just want you all to know that. And we're feeling much better today. The sinuses have cleared. I have the most. I am so excited about dinner tonight, you guys. I cannot even tell you. I am going to. This is the kind of pimpulation that I tribulate upon my society every night. I have no idea what that means. But the point is, I am so excited to be going to the hottest restaurant opening of the year in Seattle. I will be one of the first people to eat at Carmine's in Seattle. It opens tonight, and I am so excited. So excited. It probably means I won't be able to afford to go to Paris over Christmas, but that should not concern you. Here nor there, I am going to Carmine's tonight, and it is going to be remarkable. Like utterly out of body, otherworldly remarkable.
But that's not the breaking news, obviously. I mean, that's not the breaking news. I mean, the breaking news is all good things are beginning to happen now that you've shaved the stash, which is obviously the biggest story on the show today.
Yeah, I mean, I did shave the stash last night. I am fully clean shaven. The time had come. I will admit, I do have better energy and karmatic inclination. I do. Right?
Good.
Like
excellent.
And I tell you guys all the time. Now, my dog, as I tell you, is a chick magnet. Like, you take my dog on a walk and you can't score, that's a you problem, because every day, all day, it is a line around the block to pet my dog. Like, I have the cutest dog, the chick magnets, like the dog. And admittedly, the gaggle of honeys was a little larger today as we rolled around the stroll. So the dog, or
must have been the dog. Yeah,
and if you're injured by that gaggle, make sure you get to the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Professional transition. 24/7, 365. The Advocates at theadvocates.com. And I tell you every day, they deal in compassion. They understand the plight that you currently face when you've been hit by a big rig truck, when you got hit riding your bicycle, any of those injuries, you got hurt at work. Yes, they handle workplace and workman's comp issues. Absolutely. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, 24/7, 365, when you need them, where you need them, and how you need them. Is that on a phone, a video call, in person, at your home, at your office, at their office, you name it, they're ready to serve you. And the best part is you never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates, because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. So, it was pretty remarkable. The weight of the world seemingly came off the upper lip. Now, we found the Fountain of Youth, because I think that cuts 5 years off of me. And what do you know? All the chicks They were lined up throughout the greater Seattle area when they heard the hair dropping hit the sink. It's not a coincidence. And now I am ready to consume copious amounts of amazing Italian food at Carmine's tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the wins are stacking ever since shaving the stash. I mean, you've got the Carmine's thing. A certain package arrived yesterday.
The Rolex did arrive yesterday.
No,
I'm hearing it right now.
The Amazon wins, I mean, the Bears are first in the NFC North. I mean, the wins are stacking, dude.
Well, I am a little worried that I shaved and it is going to derail the Chicago Bears. I do worry about that. Marcus wants to know if the clean lip is Mrs. Monty approved. No, it's not. We forsaken the marital bliss portion of the life to free up although
waves in opposition.
Now, you guys know, and yes, this is a sports show, and eventually at some point, maybe we'll talk sports again. But you know that I'm a believer in ghosts and hauntings. I'm a big believer in ghosts and hauntings. I have told this story on the show. I grew up in a haunted house in good old Evanston, Illinois. I am 100% a believer in ghosts and hauntings. I was sitting here today, manscaping. That's a lie. That's just sensationalism. I was sitting here today in my office working, and I swear to you, I heard my wife, honey, like, you know how you just sometimes, because your soul echoes in eternity, right?
Right.
I swear I heard up to the point where I got up. I have a long hallway that leads down to the door of my condo. And I walked all the way down to the door of my condo, and it was like, are you locked out? Like, no, nobody in the hallway. It's so strange sometimes.
Yeah, weird, dude.
I have the weirdest. I don't know. I'm not a believer in poltergeists. I'm not a believer in that.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Ain't no dead bodies floating up through the pool. Right? Like, I've seen that movie. That's some bullshit, right? Like, I know real and I know fake. But it is interesting. I'm a believer. See, the show starts and it all starts coming out.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in ghosts and hauntings.
I personally believe.
I could be wrong. The ghost of Monty's mustache could be. I love it. I am so much freer with I've got the CeraVe on the face, and I'm back in the Callaway quarter zip. It is actually sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky here in Seattle. Like,
a rare day.
It was a good day. It was a good day indeed. Jeremiah Champion. This is all in the grain of the wood. Could be. And I've got wood, Jeremiah.
Hiscock.
Okay. Grew up on a haunted house too, Monty. The grain of the wood in my grandmother's house in her living room has a silhouette of Jesus, the Virgin Mary, an angel, and a demon. So wait, and I'm serious. Yes, and Ryan Smith's receding hairline is here. So this is a good time to talk about dead people. Do you guys believe? Like, I grew up Catholic. So I'm 52, probably for the first 45 years of my life, I always had a rosary. Do you guys believe like crosses will save you from Satan? The sign of the Christ. Wear a Notre Dame sweatshirt, right? Like, get James's mentor with his neck tattoo and stuff, right? Like, do you guys believe that like a cross will protect you? It's burner account Wednesday. It could be. Recovering Catholic here as well. Really? I did not know that.
No longer a teacher either.
He's a substitute now. They make more money.
Yeah.
Less responsibility. And I'm going to say, I don't believe because I saw this story. You guys know about this soothsayer who died and predicted the future that never comes true. And
Mika Egbegbo.
Exactly. I'm curious. I just think all that's a bunch of hooey. Do you believe in like fortune tellers, Jake? Do you think like Zoltar machines are real?
No, I think that capitalism is alive and well with people. That's what I think. I think
so you think it's fraudsters?
Yeah, I think it's fraudsters. I think that it's, oh, well, Monty, the line on the top of your hand is like 1/10 of 1 centimeter longer. So that means you're going to be a peasant for life. Yeah. Okay, dude. Sure. That's what that means.
So
yeah,
bitter.
sure. So I don't know. I don't think that people are out here, fortune telling and can see things. I think that do people have near-death experiences and seemingly they say they see things? Maybe. I don't know. Is that a science thing with your brain flashing, or is that actually happening? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Want to talk to a real fortune teller? Talk to historians. They're really good at putting patterns together and giving good estimations as to where those patterns will head. Jeremiah Champion's on fire. I am a big believer in historians. I absolutely agree with that. I think he's exactly right. Hero 75. Hero, where have you been? Good to see you. Saw a ghost dog once while I was dog sitting for my aunt. Thought I was crazy until my aunt told me that where I saw the dog was where she had died a year ago, and she has seen her as well. Ooh. Woke up feeling Nostradamus. There you go. We're all just brains in jars hooked up to the Matrix. Okay. I mean,
well, that's the issue, isn't it?
I got a tattoo of an inverted pentagram with fire around it on my ankle. Does that mean I'm a recovering Catholic? I think it might.
Potentially.
I think it might. College football is pain. Okay. Again, good to see you. Appreciate you. Ghost housekeepers in the work break room. It's fine. Ooh. My degree is actually going to be in history. Ooh, I like it. As someone whose degree was going to be history, I thank you, Jeremiah Champion. Yeah, so anyway, I bring all this up because I did shave. I felt a big lift. I got a couple of wins. What shoes am I wearing today? I put on Jordan 3s because Jordan 3s are always when good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I felt good about it. Oh, Art Bell. Oh, my God, Tone. I haven't thought about Art Bell in so long. Art Bell and all of his guests on Coast to Coast AM knew everything about the future, bro. I don't know. Could be. It was actually when I overdosed on this is a lie. When I overdosed on synthetic marijuana and what
is a hell of a drug.
Made me a non-believer, or rather changed my beliefs.
Until one of us passes the fuck out.
You overdosed on synthetic weed.
All gas, no break.
You had me at synthetic weed, bro.
Yeah, help me understand.
I started having second thoughts.
And maybe Big Bad Daddy Magic, who is the resident weed smoker on the show. I've never understood. First of all, why do you want to alter your mind? And I'm no Aaron Rodgers here, but I'm not the ayahuasca guy.
Right.
So I'm just curious. Why do people do ayahuasca, synthetic weed, heroin, cocaine, whatever? Do you guys understand that's almost the singular reason that I've never tried drugs?
Hydroxychloroquine.
I'm such a control freak. That's a story. Ooh. That's a story we have to talk about. Like synthetic weed. I have a tattoo of Dana on my leg.
Way to be consistent, bro. Way to be consistent. Nice job.
Synthetic weed. Yes, I did. I was living in Texas, and at the time, it was less of a charge to be caught with synthetic marijuana than it was actual marijuana. Bro.
Is synthetic marijuana more expensive?
So, did you, and I'm not even trying to dramatize this. Did you actually like die? Like, were you brought back? Like, what? See, I will admit, I am fascinated. I am fascinated by what happens when you die, as we all are. But,
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
I couldn't do it. I took some acid and traveling in a car. I was not driving, and it was raining. Looked like I was going through hyperspace, jump like in Star Wars, and a giant flying catfish was chasing the car. Bro, you do you. You know, Schwinger says their lives are empty, Monty. Could be. You know. Monty, have you been drunk before? Yes. I think I have probably been. I'm not a big drink. I'm a whiskey sipper. I'll occasionally get caught with a Modelo. I think I've probably been drunk terribly drunk 2 or 3 times in my life. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm not
one of those times was with me.
Well, in Las Vegas. Oh, fuck yeah. Las Vegas, Jake's 21st birthday. Oh, my God. He didn't even get drunk. I'm the one who got just lost. Oh, that was brutal. No, it was cheaper. So the roommate I was living with at the time worked as a nurse's assistant. And she kind of found me. I was coming to. She gave me first aid and told me that I was showing signs my heart had stopped for a little bit.
Damn.
Dude. Yeah, don't get stuck in the bookshelf. God, Jake loves that movie so much. Was it bath salts a few years ago? Yes. You remember? No, it was Spice that was making like the zombie people in Florida.
Yeah, it was a mix of weed and fentanyl.
Right, where
Wasn't
the guy
it?
was like biting, like they were chewing people's faces off.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? There was that thing where like they were turning into zombies or whatever. Bro. Well, I'm glad you're not dead. We need the interaction on the show. Well, and you're a valuable human, but I no, really.
I mean, other than that, I mean,
the comment section needs you,
right?
So don't die. That's crazy. Ooh, I fail to see the appeal of drunk. Me too. Maybe it's because I'm old. Now it's just about the savor of the scotch. Yes, I would agree with that. I can't speak on Spice K2, but being weed stoned has nothing on being drunk. You'll be giggly and have munchies from hell, maybe feel foggy and heavy-eyed. Why though? It's got to be it's got to be an escape of some kind.
Yeah.
No, it was bath salts, Monty. Okay, bath salts. Looking good after the shave, no longer looking like James Big Bro. Now, if Emerald City Skippy can get more professional looking background.
Mm-hmm.
Emerald City Skippy. That's a new one.
Okay.
Kids taking Tide Pods a few years back.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
God.
Yeah.
Do you know I think about that? Because I use those. Those little pouch square things.
Pods or liquid in the chat. What do you guys use? Pods or liquid?
I use pods. So the crazy thing about all this is that while I was out, I was moving and doing things. DVDs were taken out. My glasses were clear across the room. My laptop was across the room. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Pods, liquid, pods for the win. Alcohol sucks. Cannabis rules. Pods. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the mustache did not look good on you. See, like, I'm glad it's gone. I'm 100% with you on that. Liquid, don't trust pods. Probably true. Liquid pods stained my high school Letterman jacket. No, that's not what stained your jacket. Prom night stained your jacket. I used to see that's a sex joke. Anyway, I used to get paranoid on pot and would get super hearing. Okay. What do you mean? Marcus says my hair looks weird today. We're like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
What does that mean, dude?
What do you?
Bro comments on our look. Bro comments on our looks pretty regularly, I must say.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody wants to know why I'm not wearing a vest. I'm a quarter zip guy. I have like 100 quarter zips. Your face is now so smooth, Monty. It could be a bicycle seat, you know? Man, dude, you're really good looking. You got the face of a bicycle seat. Wait, was that a compliment? I'm from the 90s, liquid, not pods. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally remember what I was seeing very vividly, and I can give a detailed explanation in the chapter. I did see the bright light. You did see the bright light. I'm not scared to die. I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm also the guy who won't get on a Lime scooter without a helmet because I'm worried about dying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's... You know. All right. Monty looks slick minus the stash. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's talk some college football on the Monty Show. Did the CFP get it right? Because a lot of people are pissed about this. And I can't say that I disagree. Should Notre Dame be 9th in the country? Should the ultimate irony here, if we're being very honest, BYU's out and Jake Retzloff is in. Manischewitz for everybody.
He sucks though. You don't want him. He's terrible.
The amazing thing is, there is a scenario where Jake Retzloff and Utah go to the playoff and BYU does not. Let that sink in. How is Notre Dame 9 and Miami is 11? I think that's probably the most controversial thing on this graphic, is that Notre Dame is ahead of Miami. Miami obviously has the head-to-head win. And I feel like one of the things that is very clear is that the CFP is using opinion and memory far more than statistical analysis, far more than a football conversation. Because when you look at the rankings, should Notre Dame be ranked ahead of Alabama? Is that what we're doing now? Is this what we're doing? Because I don't feel like Notre Dame should be ranked ahead of Alabama.
No, I mean, I think that's a little rough, but I do think that Bama had a pretty rough showing. You know, I think, you know, the one to me that you really gotta look at is Oklahoma. I mean, I think that, yeah, sure, you beat Bama, but if you watch the game, you begin to understand that the stats paint a very clear picture about who was going to win that game and what exactly took place for Oklahoma to win that game. So, you know, I don't feel like, I personally don't feel like the Miami Notre Dame thing is that controversial. I think that No, I don't. I think that when you look at the quality of the losses, it paints a very clear picture. You know, Notre Dame's losses are versus two teams that at the time were ranked and one team that now is a top 3 team in the nation, right? So those are both quality losses in my opinion. And then you go and look at Miami's losses, and this is what nobody wants to talk about. You look at Miami's losses, and you're talking about 2 unranked teams in Louisville and SMU. Those are bad losses, dude. You can't lose to those two teams if you want to be a no doubt about it CFP team. So, I also think it matters that Notre Dame hasn't lost since week 2. I mean, it matters. So, we want to sit here and be like, oh, well, they lost the head-to-head. How can you have them ahead of Miami? Well, I can have them ahead of Miami because Miami hasn't played anybody else and has lost.
Wow.
I think that's pretty straightforward.
Wow. Okay, and again, I am a diehard Notre Dame fan. How many quality wins do we have? If we're being totally honest, and you look at the fact that we lost at then number 10 Miami. We lost at home to then number 16 Texas A&M. And after that, your best win is number 20 USC at the stadium,
which looks pretty solid.
Is Pitt a good win? I mean, clearly not. Clearly not. And I think that the thing that I really struggle with is when you look at these rankings and then we start asking ourselves, okay, well, what is the rationale? And you listen to the rationale, I really struggle with it.
How close is Miami and Notre Dame in terms of evaluation within the room?
I think when you look, Reese, at Notre Dame and Miami, we really compare the losses of those two teams. Miami has lost to 2 unranked teams. Notre Dame has lost to 2 teams that are ranked in our top 13. And so we really haven't compared those two teams. They haven't been in similar comparative pools to date. But Miami is creeping up into that range where they will be compared to Notre Dame if something happens above them.
Well, one of those losses was to Miami. Does that not matter that Miami beat Notre Dame?
No, not anymore. It doesn't matter when you have those terrible losses on your schedule because everyone's saying, and this is a valid conversation. Well, what do you mean the head-to-head doesn't matter? Miami beat them. How can you have Miami behind them at this point? What do you mean? Well, bro, what I mean is that nobody and their mom is going to say Miami's a better team than Notre Dame right now. You can't factually say that. You can't say that Miami, based on who they have lost to, is a better team than the Fighting Irish right now. Like, sorry, dude, maybe if you had taken care of business and beat Louisville and beat SMU, we wouldn't have to have this conversation.
SMU's the one. Like, Louisville's a respected program. But I agree with you. Both those losses
still unranked. Still unranked.
And then when you start looking at resumes, right, here are the top 25 of the ESPN FPI. I mean, strength of record does significantly favor Notre Dame. But I also look at BYU on this graphic. And what I really struggle with, and yes, I know I say this every day, and every time I say it, the comment section loses their mind. But can you really make the argument that the Big 12 is not hurting BYU at this point? I don't know how you make that argument. BYU's got a better strength of record than Texas Tech. And right now, Texas Tech is 5, BYU's 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they saying that Texas Tech is so much further up the ladder than BYU? Well, the committee says it's because Texas Tech beat the shit out of BYU in Lubbock and it just wasn't close. So then the eye test does matter. Because again, if I go back to resume, BYU has in my opinion, a significantly better resume than even Texas Tech has. And yet nobody, not the AP, not the coaches, not your mom, nobody thinks that BYU's better than Texas Tech. And I'm not arguing that point. No, I am not arguing that point. But I'm also going to sit here and argue that if Texas Tech is 5th, you can't have BYU 11th.
Yeah, I think that to me, Texas Tech being 5th is the most controversial thing on the graphic. I don't think that I'm not surprised BYU sitting at 11 because I think nobody ever respects them. I think I've been saying that for 3 weeks now that you're going to have to go undefeated the rest of the way. You don't get the luxury of being a 2-loss team and having 2 terrible losses to Louisville and SMU and still being top 15 in the country. You don't have that luxury, right? BYU has to be either undefeated or a 1-loss team. And in my opinion, and I know, and this is kind of the conversation we're having, I know they say, hey, well, championship game doesn't matter. You don't beat Texas Tech in that championship game. I don't feel confident you're getting into the CFP. And everyone says, oh, there's no way they're getting bounced. Dude, I'm telling you, if you go out and you look like ass against Texas Tech in the championship game, dude, you are asking for big trouble as far as getting into the CFP. And the reason I say that is because of the bias with Texas Tech. And this is what I mean. So I see people regularly saying that Texas Tech is better than Ole Miss, just as an example, is better than Alabama, as an example, right? Like better than these SEC teams that if they played in the SEC, that they would be dominating this season, which I just could not disagree with more. I think that that's one of the worst takes that we have in college football with these rankings right now. I think Texas Tech is at least a 3-loss team in the SEC this year, without a doubt. And that's mainly because of Baron Morton and his inconsistent play on the road in big environments, because that's all the SEC is. So for me, I'm not so surprised that there's shade being thrown at BYU and nobody respects them and they can't seem to get traction. I am shocked that people think Texas Tech with that quarterback situation would be better than some of those SEC teams.
Do you believe that some of this is how many people will watch television?
Yes. I don't know how they deny it. I mean, they're going to deny it, but how do you deny it? I mean, again, you look at, whether you want to look at the bracket or if you just want to talk about the selection show or the ranking reveal show, whatever they're calling it, every week, like there's got to be some shock value, right? There's got to be a story to tell. There's got to be, and that's what I think is hard with this, because you brought up something a couple minutes ago about, hey, so the eye test does matter. I maintain if someone denies that the eye test doesn't matter, they're just lying their ass off. It matters how you lose. It matters how you win. It matters how dominant you look. Whether we're talking about Arch Manning or we're talking about Bama looking terrible over the weekend, like it matters.
Yes, it does.
Win and lose. And I think that, the BYU losing to Texas Tech, the way you lost that game makes you look like you're incompetent versus Texas Tech. Makes you look like you don't have a quarterback that can play in big games. And so whether that's true or not, whether Bear Bachmeier can put together a TCU type performance against Tech in the championship game, I don't know. But what I'm telling you is that he looked like he was way in the deep end, and BYU didn't look competitive. And the moment looked too big for him in that particular game. So there's no way to say it doesn't matter.
I don't disagree with that, but we need to be real here. We're in a position where I think the Big 12 is hurting its top teams. This being a league with zero depth, zero competition, and programs that routinely don't do what needs to be done to win games. That's the plight of this conference. You have a bunch of people like you look at Baylor. And I'm going to point to Baylor every single time we have this talk.
As you should.
Because Dave Aranda had no business being the football coach at Baylor starting this season. He had no business. He should have been fired. Mike Gundy should have been fired. If Sonny Dykes is allowed to continue at TCU, I would not be surprised, because that's just who this conference is. If you look at this league, the new blood in this league is what's driving this conference forward. Texas Tech is not Mike Leach's Texas Tech. It's Cody Campbell's Texas Tech. You look at probably the biggest brand in the league is probably still Colorado. If we're talking notoriety and Q factor, that's new blood. You look at the best teams on the field, Texas Tech spent more money, did more portal than anybody else, winning. BYU spent more money, better coaching staff, better NIL, better transfer portal, winning. Utah completely overhauled their offense, spent more money, winning. Yet who's at the bottom of this league? Okie Light, who sucks and is an embarrassment on the face of this league. Baylor, who sucks and is an embarrassment on the face of this league. Routinely at the bottom of this league. And everybody that comes in this show all summer long and tells me, well, Monty, you don't know ball, boy. Okay. Have I not been correct about the plight of K-State? Avery Johnson's not a big-time quarterback. That's why you're 4-3 in the league, right? You're not. What did I warn you about when Matt Campbell said, well, these kids are coming back and they're taking a pay cut to do it, Monty?
We got culture.
Yeah, you're 3-4 in the league. Sonny Dykes, 3-4. Dave Aranda, 3-4. Kansas. I can only say it so many times. If you are not going to address your significant issues, like Baylor just doesn't tackle. Yet Dave Aranda is supposed to be a defensive genius. Right? Like you look at West Virginia, fired Neil Brown, going in the right direction. Got to get better on defense. Like UCF hired Scott Frost, they're going to suck into perpetuity until he's gone.
Yeah.
He's never been able to win. Right?
But I don't think anyone was counting on UCF to carry the Big 12 forward. I certainly was not.
It'd be nice if you could be bowl eligible. It'd be if you're like Deion Sanders is not going to a bowl this year. He's making them money. I can at least make that argument. But if I look at Oklahoma State, what is Oklahoma State doing for the Big 12 right now?
Investing in hockey.
Did you guys see this video? Nah, bruh. I can't even describe to you whatever this is.
Oklahoma State fans, I'm hearing we're a hockey school now. How about that? Oklahoma State hockey. You guys better get your tickets right now to Bedlam, February 28th. I need to come see that myself. I'm excited. I like me some hockey. I'm fired up. Go Pokes hockey. I love that.
We're a hockey school now. What? Hossenji's your goaltender?
Program.
We're a hockey school now? What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What was that? Help me. That's what this league has become. Do you want to know why BYU is 11th? Because they're in the Big 12. Do you want to know why Utah is not going to get in? Because they're in the Big 12. Because you start looking at resumes. And again, everybody always says that I'm an SEC homer. Okay. Show me, bro. Show me how I'm wrong. Because when I look at if you stack the FPI, and this is a part that will probably make you unhappy. When you stack the FPI and you just go on like strength of schedule, you probably don't want me to put that graphic up, because the 25 best schedules in the country, one of those schedules, as I stall to upload the graphic, one of those schedules is a Big 12 schedule. Here's the strength of schedule. Anybody want to put the readers on so that you can find the Big 12 all the way at the bottom? 23rd. Oh my God, it's Oklahoma State. Look at all the SEC. Look at the Big 10. Look at Florida, South Carolina, Alabama, Auburn, Texas, LSU, Arkansas, Sooner, Boomer, Sooner, boy, Georgia, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Texas A&M. The entire flipping league has the best strength of schedule. You've got one Big 12 team in the top 25 in strength of schedule. One. And now strength of record, BYU, Texas Tech, Utah, Arizona State, the same group. Where's the rest of the Big 12? Because I see Texas A&M and Georgia and Ole Miss and Alabama and Oklahoma and Vanderbilt and Texas and Tennessee, LSU, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, the beloved, the cheaters, the Trojans. I mean, you got more condoms than you do frickin' the Big 12.
Hell, Georgia Tech's even on there, bro.
And so again, I ask you, is the Big 12 hurting BYU? And the answer is an unequivocal yes.
I would argue that this issue goes deeper than just this year as well. And what I mean is, if you think about, let's just say the Big Ten or the ACC, because this doesn't apply to the SEC, obviously. But you look at the Big Ten, and the ACC, and typically those are, most years probably 2 bid leagues, 3 bid leagues. The Big Ten, I would say, is a 3 bid league most years, in the CFP era.
I would agree with that.
So like you look at those 2 conferences and you're saying, okay, well, most years in the ACC, we're going to get a Florida State, we're going to get a Miami or Clemson. Those are the 3 that really have paid the bills recently. Now last year, obviously one-off year with SMU, but the point is that SMU was able to get in, right? Whatever you think of that, they got in.
They got in.
So my big thing with the Big 12 is that when you look around this conference, it's not just that it's the new blood carrying the conference. It's that the conference was in danger before you brought these schools in, right? Because everyone was like, oh, well, OU in Texas, just get the hell out of here. We don't need you, whatever. There's a bunch of pride about it.
Exactly.
When they leave, then you needed another conference to melt down to go and get the schools that are now carrying your conference. So the problem isn't necessarily even that Baylor is trash or Okie Light is trash. The problem is that you're a 1 bid league every year, and you're lucky to get that based on the fact with the way the system is set up. That's the only reason you're getting that, because nobody would have had if Oklahoma State had beat Texas several years ago. Nobody would put them in unless they had to, right? Nobody would have done that.
Well, that's what's so disappointing about UCF.
Yeah.
How many years? And I love my dudes in Orlando. I love the bounce house. I love that you're not doing what you said you were going to do. UCF for how long was talking about how we need a seat at the table. We're a big time program. Well, now you get a seat at the table and you hired Scott Frost. Like that is what I can't figure out.
Yeah, Tulane's looking much more attractive right about now.
But look, if you're UC, and I think UCF might be the best example of this. What's Houston done? They've gone all in, right? And now Houston is moving in the right direction. Look at Cincinnati. Say what you want about Sorsby and say what you want about the job that Scott Satterfield's done. They're moving in the right direction. Say what you want about BYU. BYU is a national championship contender right now. Where's UCF? Where is UCF?
And really, I think, where's UCF? But more importantly, where are the Kansas schools? That's what I look at, man. If this conference is going to thrive, the state of Kansas got to put out.
Jake,
right?
they're making up stories about pocket knives.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are sitting here. You guys are sitting here crying about, Lance Leipold and just sitting here being irrelevant. Like last year, it was fine because you ruined some seasons, but then this year, what's the excuse? And so, I don't know, man. I just get to a point where it's like I'm really not passionate about the ACC at all. Just like as a host or as a fan. And the Big 12 just tires me with the mediocrity and really it does kind of feel like the just lack of want to, the not caring about winning at the highest level. Because if you did,
there's no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because the commissioner can continue to beat the drum and continue to do deals that bring in money into this league. You have a really good TV deal. You have a lot of reach. So you don't have to win games. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Yet BYU, Texas Tech, Utah, and Colorado are all in. And it's when they lose games at those four universities, the world stops spinning. Does the world stop spinning in Orlando, or do you just go across the street? Does the world stop spinning in Manhattan, Kansas, and Lawrence, Kansas? Does the world stop spinning in Ames, Iowa? It doesn't feel like it in Waco. It doesn't feel like it in Fort Worth. It certainly is not the case in Stillwater. Like, that's the part of me that I don't understand. You look at, and everybody who rips Mark Harlan after the BYU game, at that BYU game last year, what was Mark Harlan after the game? Absolutely devastated about that loss. Did he handle it well? No, he did not. But he was absolutely devastated. Losing was not an option.
Yeah, I don't think you question the guy's, caring level of caring,
And again, I think you look at Kalani and you look at everybody at BYU. And Bear Bachmeier is one of the best stories in the country right now. Look at the resources and the assets and the humanity that is being poured into BYU football. And currently, Baylor and TCU and Oak State and Iowa State and Chris Klein-Mia River and Lance Leipold and all these dudes are just a big old anvil around BYU's neck right now.
Keeping a buck right now, we ass.
That's how I feel about it. I just feel like this league is dragging BYU into the mud. And it's very difficult when you don't have a resume, and BYU, with all due respect, does not have a resume. You're not going to be able to overcome that.
Where would you have them? Where would you have them?
Where would I rank them?
Yeah, where would you have them? Yep.
I think if you look at this right here, I think I would have BYU. I think I would probably have BYU at 9, and I wouldn't have Notre Dame in. I would have BYU at I'd have BYU solidly in the top 10. I'd have them 9 or at a minimum 10. I would have them solidly in the top 10. Mm-hmm. The difference, and I know everybody's like, oh, well, what the fuck? Oh, no. The difference between 11 and 9 is significant on the 19th of November.
I would agree with that.
September, October, you cannot, in my opinion, have Notre Dame ahead of BYU with BYU's schedule and with Notre Dame's losses.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with that. I also think that Oregon is the one with a massive question mark around them in that 6 through 10 group there. I think that Oregon does not have the momentum they did early in the season, and this USC game couldn't be the USC game for them on their schedule, the way it works out, couldn't be more important, bro. Couldn't be. Just, man, you got to have that.
I don't have a problem with anybody in the top 5. Texas Tech's earned it.
Oh, I disagree. I would not have Texas Tech at 5, bro.
I have no. Would I have them at 5? No, I don't have a problem with them being at 5. I would have them. I would not change. Ohio State would be 1. Would not change. Indiana at 2. I'd have Georgia 3. I'd have A&M 4. I'd have Ole Miss 5. I'd have Oklahoma 6, Tech 7, Oregon 8, BYU 9, Bama 10.
Yeah.
That's where my top 10 would be.
Agreed.
And I think I would have, man, Utah or Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Probably Notre Dame 11, Utah 12, SC 13, Texas 14, Georgia Tech 15, Miami 16. And then it doesn't even matter. Once you get past 15, it doesn't even matter. You got no shot.
Yeah.
So it just, to me, it's a really tough sell at this point. It is a really, really tough sell. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. All right, let's see. Joey Harper, who's been a member for 26 months.
No, hang on. I wasn't ready for that, bro. I was not ready for that, dude. My bad. Yeah, sorry, dude. I wasn't ready for that.
When are you going to load my drop machine? I want my stay hard drop.
Dude, I'm not loading anything for you, bro. That's not happening.
Stay hard. Will you grow up?
Stash or no stash, I'm not loading anything.
Great. Thank you. For
the biggest load that we've seen.
Whatever. Right now, Miami at 11 is a placeholder for the ACC champ, and that could be. The ACC's champion is getting in. I would agree with that. What's the difference between Utah and Notre Dame? Both are 2-loss teams. Utah lost to 2 top 10 teams. The difference is the brand name. No question about it. No question about it. That's not fair, Monty. All the toothless Oak State fans will be mistaken as hockey players. That's true.
Well, you know.
How awkward is Mike Gundy in that video? When I first saw it, I thought it was AI. I'm not going to lie. And it's not AI, which is wild to me, Chewy. So, Kenneth Maynor. BYU beating East Carolina is better for strength of schedule than Oak State or Baylor. Pirates are still alive for a spot in the American. I mean, you're not wrong. It just doesn't, it doesn't help when the rest of your league is ass. It just doesn't help. Right? And you look at the way that this shakes out, and it's just impossible to justify the paychecks of a lot of people in this league. Man, it is really difficult. And obviously, when we talk about strength of schedule, who's not at the top of this list? Well, Indiana, who's 38th, Ohio State, who's 50th, right? Texas Tech, 52nd.
Ohio State.
So, I mean, there is some disparity in these numbers based on what the committee says is real. It's plain as day that BYU is going to have to do it twice as well as everybody else if they want to get in. It's just, it is what it is.
Yep.
UW fan Jim, is Texas still back? They are. Listen, I think, and I'll continue to say, I'll die on the Texas hill. Texas is not talented enough offensively. But this idea, did you guys see Sark light up the media today? Like, he started his conference call by just crushing people and talking about how we just had a child here and my kids go to Texas and my daughter's going to Texas in the fall. I got a kid at law school. Like, just annihilating reporters saying that Steve Sarkisian's leaving Texas. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not annihilating reporters. He's annihilating asshats at ESPN.
Taking out this garbage, had a couple of thoughts. One is, man, I miss the Twins. But as I'm walking past this tennis ball in my yard, I was also thinking, don't be surprised if that Texas job opens up at the end of the season. You guys were shocked when LSU opened up. Imagine how you're going to feel if that job in Austin pops open. I'm not calling or saying anyone's going to get fired. Maybe a mutual parting of ways. You dig?
I don't dig. And Steve Sarkisian doesn't dig.
No.
Like, it's just this whole thing, and we'll get into it more, but I don't know, man. I think it goes back to all of these people that just won't let the coaching carousel die. And UW fan Jim, you're not wrong. They're not great this year. They don't have the horses offensively to compete. They just don't. So, and by the way, always good to see you, my guy. I'm glad you're here. Oak State TCU trader turncoat James. Oh, God. BYU needs a home and home against Oregon or Washington.
Whoever came up with that shit need to be fired.
Now, I haven't even read the rest, but what if, let's get crazy. What if Oklahoma State built a football team? I know.
I don't live in a what if scenario.
Bro, what if Oak State built a football team? Or Baylor, or TCU, or K-State, or Kansas, or Colorado rebounds? What if? That would give them a quality non-conference win, boost their strength of schedule. P.S. Gundy video is terrible. Why don't we boost the rest of the conference? Why don't you stop putting new teams on your tombstone and let's let the rest of the conference germinate organically? They don't need quality non-conference wins. They need this conference not to suck. That's what they need, if we're being honest. Yes, yes, yes. Jimmy, yes. The Monty Show just refunded Stadium Guy James's $5 for that question super chat. Nah. I agree. BYU is doing their part this year, and 11-1 getting left out is sad, dude. I don't even think it's 11-1 getting left out. This conference is simply not good enough. And nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. Would it really altogether surprise anybody if Kleiman and Leitold and 8-Ball and Spike Dykes' kid got to keep their jobs?
No.
I wouldn't be that shocked. Honest to God, I wouldn't be that shocked.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
I wouldn't be that shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty status quo for the conference. No doubt. And I think that at some point there's got to be penalties. There's got to be a price to pay for not making the Big 12 championship game once every 5 years, in my opinion.
But do you believe there will be?
No.
I don't either. I don't either. And you know what I love about BYU? They take so much shit for being Mormon, for being LDS, for Magic Underpants, for, F the Mormons. And all they've done is build a football program that most teams can't compete with. All they've done is survive independence. And not only did they survive independence, they got into the Big 12 and they have thrived in the Big 12. And it's still F them. Like, they're doing more than you thought they could do. And nobody will recognize that. And it just makes me crazy. It makes me crazy that Dave Aranda, Sonny Dykes, Matt Campbell, for that matter. Who's going to hold Matt Campbell accountable? Oh, I know. His next employer when he leaves Iowa State.
Penn State.
Right? Like, and I don't even think it's Penn State. Like if we believe that Bobby Chesney is getting the Penn State job, because Bob Chesney allegedly, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, Bob Chesney is choosing between UCLA and Penn State. Both have made him structures of offers. Like, it's crazy to me. And yet we'll still pick on BYU about Cougar tails and, well, they don't play games on Sunday, Monty. Let's make up N-bombs against volleyball players. And yet all BYU does is win games. Tune you out and they win games. They tune you out again and they still win games. They go to Autzen and it's after the Mormons and they win games. They lose Jake Retzloff, who I think could be a Heisman candidate. If Jake was doing what he's doing at Tulane at BYU, he'd be a Heisman candidate. And they find a true freshman named Bear Bachmeier who can win you all your games but one. It's crazy to me. And the rest of this conference, the relegated former, Big 8 members have done nothing this year. It's been Tech. It's been Utah. It's been BYU. It's been Arizona State. It's been Arizona, frankly. It's wild to me. Wild to me. Gabriel. Gabriel's a UCF fan. All this talk is making me sad as a sports fan. UCF doesn't have a future, and I don't know if we ever will.
Because it's garbage.
That's tough, dude. That is tough. UCF.
Basketball has a future, not football.
I would agree with that because UCF, and back me up on this, Gabriel. UCF talked a load of smack to get in this league. Like, we had their athletic director on and, oh, we're great. We're this, we're that. Look at all the gold trimmings on the wall in my office that I got at Home Depot. And spray paint. All of it.
Yeah.
And nothing. And you're in a recruiting hotbed and nothing.
I don't think it's dramatic to say that the Big 12 would have preferred USF or Tulane at this point.
USF, look, I'm not pronouncing UCF dead. I believe that I want UCF to get their head out of their ass and do the job. But we can't hire their football coach. They won't let me have input on it. Trust me, I asked. I didn't. It just is what it is, right? Like, Mormon religion is a bit loony to most people. But freedom of religion, but at least they are not Scientology. You would think Tom Cruise would be a head coach for a college football team for Scientology. I got to be honest with you. The religion thing, if the Mormon faith is wacky, what are the Catholics? What are the Methodists? Right? I mean, are we really going to stone our women in the streets? Are we really?
Allegedly.
Right? Like, are we really? I don't know. It's just, to me, you guys, I think it's this situation where we don't want to do what needs to be done, and then we mock the people who do what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that I think is so difficult for people to... Hello? My lights just turned off. Did we like what? Okay. Now the lights. Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we? Okay.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
So I don't know where the remote for this light is.
You talked a bunch of junk about Scientology and Mormons, and now the light's turning on and off, dude.
C Dibs, who's been a member for 32 months, Dibs. Good to see you. Why can college football not use a tiered win-loss system like they use in college basketball for determining seeding for the tournament? I don't understand the specifics of how it works, but they do have it, and I don't.
Because there's more spots available in basketball. That's why.
I don't know why we can't have a did you win enough games? Oh, sorry, you're out. You didn't. Dibs, you're exactly. There has to be a better way than this. But it keeps us all engaged, right? Grons, I believe West Virginia is moving in the right direction, and Rich Rod has found his quarterback. Yes, he has. I think, and I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. I think Rich Rodriguez is the exact right guy, and he's the right guy at the right time, doing the right things. And I think West Virginia's in a great spot. He's got a lot of building to do. But Scott says Lobos are better than Big Two. Beat UCLA, right? Okay. If Sam Levitt was doing in Stillwater what he's done in Tempe, he'd be a Heisman candidate.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Preaching nothing but the gospel. The AD is a clown. He sold everyone a bill of goods. He really did. James, Matt, I am curious, what QB does West Virginia have? Do you not know ball?
Bro, are you seriously talking junk on West Virginia after you sold your school out and now you're going to claim you have some great quarterback in Hoover? Is that what this comment is? Am I reading the room right here? Is that what I'm seeing out of you right now?
I'm a little surprised by that. And I think you're just being a red ass. That's what I think. Cam Harrison. What's up, Cam? In 2020, BYU with one loss, the committee said, well, we respect BYU, but they played no one. Now 2025, 9-1, they played quality opponents, still ranked 11th. You got to take it by force. You got to take it by force, Cam. But would like Memphis over Tulane or USF, but that's just me. Based on merit or based on fandom? You know, Kenneth, it's crazy to think about Retzloff and Tulane getting in the playoff while BYU sits at home. Wild. And the worst part is, what if Utah and Jake Retzloff get in? And BYU does not. Oh, my God. That would be, dude. Kyle. Haas Hengy will save West Virginia football. Wow.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Sorry, folks. That's what it is.
Hey, do not be offended by my Mormon take. I think all organized religions are fairy tales and cults, but again, freedom of religion, so you be you. Yeah, I'm not offended by it. I hope everybody has freedom of religion.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Delaric, what's up, Delaric? Looking at playoff rankings, and ACC could screw around and not have a team in the playoffs due to two high-ranking group schools. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Stretch, Monty, you have to pay the electric bill every month. Now you tell me. You know.
Oh, man, that's great.
John Ritter, I'm Lutheran. We're Catholic stepbrothers. All the religions are crazy. They really are. They really are. LMAL, Monty's new condo in Seattle has electrical issues. Get out, move. Again, dude, I'm never moving again. I hated moving. Well, Jake actually has electrical issues.
Dude. Bro, I get out of bed this morning. So everyone in my sphere has a little cold right now. Monty had a little cold. The girlfriend's got a little cold. So like I get up, girlfriend's cold last night, got to turn the heat on, I get up and what do I find? What do I find last night? Now, because
a rectal thermometer laying on the floor.
I mean, pretty much, right? So I walk into the hallway up by my bedroom to get a blanket out of the closet.
A blankie.
And I'm like, hold on a second. Why is my office pitch black? Because I have a little light that I bought. This is kind of like a on all the time kind of light that just hangs out. And I'm like, hold on a second. Why is the light off, bro? What the hell just happened here? It's like 1:30 in the morning, by the way, and I'm doing all this math in my head while I get a blanket. And I'm like, all right, not a big deal. Maybe I just zoned out last night before bed and I turned it off and I forgot. And it's, maybe it's on me, dude. Maybe it's on me and I just misremembered.
Yeah.
I would do something like that. I know myself. Okay, cool. I'll just write it off. Roll up into the office this morning. It's like 5:20 and I get to the office and I'm like, yeah, none of this stuff works, dude. All my equipment's turned off. Both computers dead. Can't turn the other computer on. Light won't turn on. Big light in the room won't turn on. Go down to the garage. Are any of the breakers actually, popped? So I could turn it back on? No. There's one that's half popped. And what does it all come down to? You want to talk about, shoddy electrical?
Oh.
My fridge in this unit doesn't have like a front-facing ice maker.
Which I hate.
It does have an ice maker, but it's built into the fridge drawer, and it tastes terrible. It's very plasticky. It doesn't taste good. So at one point when I had first moved to Eugene, I was getting bags of ice from the store, right? I'd get a bag a week. And so I got tired of that process. So lucky for us, one of my girlfriend's friends gifted us a countertop ice maker that makes pellet ice, which has been amazing, by the way. Highly would recommend. If you don't have one in your fridge, countertop ice maker, cash. Only problem is in my new place, the plug at the countertop for the ice maker shorted all the living room lights that I found out about this morning. And because the office is right above the living room, it also shorted my office. So now I can't use the ice maker, and I have questions about how the house is wired up. So that was my life this morning, bro. That was my life this morning.
So you're renting. What did your landlord say? So my landlord's been pretty cool, right? Like I've had a couple of issues lately that they've done a really good job handling. I will give them credit for that. Like I have central air and heat, but it's a newer setup that's kind of going around. I've noticed this. So each room has its own like mini unit and so the one downstairs in the kitchen hadn't been working. It would turn on, it would function, but then it would turn off and so it had some kind of like motherboard issue. They came out, they replaced the motherboard, works perfectly. Everything's cool. Last week, I had an issue where the smoke detectors went off at 8 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, and 1:30 at night. And I was like, dude, I can't have this, bro. Not only do I work all day. Hardwired smoke detectors. Not only do I work all day, I can't be up at night for like an hour trying to figure out my smoke detectors. Like they didn't do the beep. They like went full, hey, house is burning down, like full blast. So the landlord, one thing leads to another. They come out and they fix the AC unit. They fix the smoke detectors. I'm texting this dude at like 5:30 this morning. And bro is like, yeah, there's somewhere in the house. You have a space heater or something that's taking too much energy. So instantly I was like, it's the ice maker because I don't have a space heater, right? He was just like, you have something that's taking too much power. And I'm like, well, I'm looking in my office and I'm like, dude, like I don't have anything in here that takes that much power. I have a couple of computers, like, just some small odds and ends stuff that doesn't take that much power. So I go downstairs because my garage is obviously downstairs. I'm looking at the panel. And what do I notice? I notice that one of the breakers is partially popped. It's not fully, you know how the breaker goes all the way over when it's fully, it was only partially popped. And I missed that the first time when I looked at it.
So I come back in the house, walk into the kitchen. None of the lights work in the kitchen, right? No, everything's dark in the kitchen. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be what it is. So what did I do? I was like, all right, maybe it's the ice maker. Unplug the ice maker. Everything turns back on, right? I put the breakers back on, go upstairs, my lights back on, everything's perfect. So took me 40 minutes to figure out that a countertop ice maker in this place takes too much power, bro, at 5:30 in the morning.
So it's probably the panel is not wired right.
Something's not wired right. Yeah, because what I told the guy was, I was like, listen, dude, I really appreciate you texting me this early in the morning and, being available, because the guy is available pretty much anytime you need him. But I was like, bro, how is it that a kitchen outlet circuit situation trips an upstairs what amounts to office bedroom space? How does that?
So frustrating.
How does that work, dude? So it's just one of those things, man. It's just absolutely positively one of those things where I was like, bro, this can't, I don't have time for this, bro. I have a very strict routine in the morning that I follow that is down to a 5-minute window, bro.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
Rhythm.
And that just completely threw it all off, dude.
So what did they say they're going to do?
Well, so what he said was, he was like, yeah, we're going to have an electrician come out at some point and look at that. And that's probably not going to be a 5-minute process. That's not something that we would want to just come in the middle of your day and just, start getting into things. So we need to plan that out. And I was like, yeah, we need to figure something out. I'm not going to use the ice maker because I don't want to keep dealing with that. But it just was like, dude, my frustration with it is not the lack of communication with the landlord. The communication's been good. He's very helpful. He shows up. He's available.
It's not a quality product.
Yeah, it's a new build. So this place is actually really affordable. It's a 3-bedroom unit that is on the smaller side. I think it's maybe 2,000 feet, 2,200 feet, whatever it is. Pretty run of the mill, but it's brand new. And this is still a problem. I don't know how that's possible, dude. I don't know how, if it was an older place built in the 90s, I'd be like, yeah, that's okay. I get it. But in a new build in today's day and age, one, how do we have hardwired smoke detectors? Number one. Number two, why do I have this AC unit situation? I've never seen this before in my life, where until I moved to this place, where there's you have the unit that's on the side of the house, but then you have these on the wall, physically on the wall, units that blow the hot and cold air.
Central air and room coolers.
Basically, yeah. It's there's 3 upstairs for each bedroom, and then there's 1 in the main living space. So it's it behaves like central air in a sense, but it's you can't have.
Weird. That is weird.
So as an example, one of the things I learned with this was I can't be upstairs doing the show in my office and have the AC on, let's say, in this room, and then have the heat on downstairs. You can't do that with this setup. That's not, you're not able to do that, which is fine. I mean, I wouldn't do that generally anyway, but I'm just that they made a big deal about that. So it's just been, I don't know, bro.
I think, do you pay your own electric bill?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. That panel is not.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I think you're exactly right about the ice maker. It's way better than your refrigerator is going to be. Those pellet ice makers are a luxury.
Really nice, dude. And I didn't know about that life until it was gifted to us, and I started using it. And I was like, bro, this is incredible. If you just stay up on the water in it, it's absolutely amazing, dude. You have pellet ice. It's awesome. It's great. You don't have to buy ice. It saves you money. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. You know that those things, I want to say they're about $500.
Yeah.
You can get them for $300 on Amazon. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is that's
nice,
legit.
bro.
That's legit. Those things are great. Pellet ice is,
and what I don't understand,
highly underrated.
Maybe this is me just not being educated on these ice maker things.
Well, you are stupid. So
I am, yes, and I don't run from that, right? Hey, I get it. I know about college football.
It's in your DNA. No, you don't know shit about ball.
I know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the. Let's see. I don't know anything about the Jazz. I don't know anything about the league. I don't know anything about TV or football. I don't know anything about anything. sex. I don't know anything about sex, like any of it. But somehow, some way, I know everything about popping a breaker at 5 a.m. with my ice maker. And that was the other thing, too, before we move off this. This happened in the middle of the night with the ice maker, which is really weird. I understand it's cyclical, so it'll track how much ice is in it, and it'll make sure you stay stocked.
It's because it's not the ice maker isn't the problem. Your electrical's the problem.
I get yeah, bro. I know.
What happening in the middle of the night? I probably interrupted you when you were going to say, well, if it happened in the middle of the night, how could it be pulling too much electricity? Because everything else is off.
Yeah, he's saying what the landlord said is that it's just drawing too much power to the one outlet. And what I wanted to say that I didn't was I was going to say, well, hey, it's rated as a countertop unit. It's sold as, hey, put this in your kitchen. It works with a standard outlet. You don't need to use this with, those higher powered outlets they put in garages that are rated for like freezers.
Yes.
It's rated for a regular outlet. So I don't know. I have no idea. I suppose I could run a science experiment tonight and put it in a different outlet. See, because I would really like to keep using it, but the outlet that it's plugged in on is well, not anymore, but was plugged in on, obviously is not going to suffice anymore. So I don't know, bro, but that was just annoying.
Yeah, I think you got to have the landlord fix the freaking problem. I would make him have an electrician come out on the weekend and because you're it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That can cause a fire, man.
Yeah.
That's what you get really scared about. Yeah. Well, the question is any fire hazards. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. My guess is Jake is either exceeding the 20 amp limit on a given circuit, or there's a short in the device that's popping the circuit. Well, let's hope it's not more than that. Right? Maury Alvarez. Get a big battery backup for the office. Well, could do that as well. But, stop the cap, Jake. You know everything about it. Cough, cough. Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Jake now understands Monty's pain as a homeowner, renter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much in again, it's it's not the non-sports hour of the show apparently, but I am very much on the train right now with where housing prices are at for buying, that it doesn't make sense to buy with all the other responsibilities that come with it. I mean, that's just not, why would I buy and have the mortgage costs when I can just say, hey, bro, come out and get this fixed?
Where did you send me the one place it's cheaper to rent than buy? Wasn't it like Pennsylvania or something stupid like that?
Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh right now is the most affordable housing market in the country right now to buy. Not rent versus buy, but just straight up to buy. You have $150,000 places in Pittsburgh right now, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
Are you two paying for renter's insurance? Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. And so many people ask me about that. I don't know why so many people ask me if I have renter's insurance. Dude, it's not worth not having it.
In most places mandate it now. You have to have it. It's not really Oh, yeah. The last two places I've rented, it was part of the lease. You had to have renter's insurance. It's mandated.
But Angelo, the problem with the ice cube tray, it tastes like ass.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not. And first world problems. Ice out of an ice cube tray, you're a peasant. You're a peasant. I'm kidding. I just don't like the way it tastes. I don't believe in using plastic anything if I can avoid it. So, natural. Wonder if the other units the landlord has are having the same issue.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
You guys don't have a lot of units. Do you like a fourplex or something, right?
No, so it's I would say it's a smaller development generally speaking, but there's probably 30 of them in here, I would say. 20 to 30 of them in here, yeah. Like it's basically, it's just to like give you a reasonable example. Like you basically just drive in and there's like 5 on your left and there's like 8 on your right, and then you kind of go around a bend and there's a handful more of them. So it's like, it's a small development, but they've built plenty of them to where it's like, the thing I will say though is that it is a I would say a smaller time operation. Like Like if you like, just because we lived in Salt Lake, like the development I lived in Salt Lake was a massive development that was like millions of dollars worth of investment to build all those. And like they had major resources into that. This is much more of a, the person who owns all of these is not here in the day to day. He's simply an investor. And the guy running it, the guy who's here every day is the builder. And he has a team of guys building all of these. And they're basically done. They're finishing up like the last 3. But I think that's why there's some of these issues, because they've built all these in probably a year's time. Like it hasn't been
so it's
long.
new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's brand new. I'm the first person to live in this unit. Yeah, it's new.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I have relatives that live just a little ways out of Pittsburgh. So many abandoned houses, not quite as bad as Detroit area, but many abandoned houses in very bad shape. Ooh, that's got to be rough. What do you get in Pittsburgh for 150 G's, an old abandoned coal mine? Easy. And Jake is right. The apartment that I just got forced me to get renter's insurance.
Yeah, it's a mandate in leases now. It's not a choice.
Buy bags of ice at Buc-ee's. Okay. TCU James, yes, Toot. Bags of ice at Buc-ee's.
And listen, that's what I was doing. But the ice maker thing was a gift to us. We didn't even have to buy it. Someone gave
really
it to us.
Good.
Yeah, it's really good. It works well. So I was brainstorming today. I was like, bro, I guess I could put this in the garage, or like I could run it. Like, I don't know. Like I just need it to work somewhere that's accessible, like my kitchen.
Yeah.
But I can't do that apparently.
Gron says bandwagon James, West Virginia freshman quarterback Scotty Fox. He is a stud. And he's one of those guys that goes up on the wall when his career's over. You can just see it by the way he plays. Better get to know him because he's going to throw all over your 8 teams. Wow. Wow. I love it.
Jesus,
awesome.
Bro.
Stay hard. Doug for $5. As a 15-year Utah fan, I'm happy that we are finally relevant in the end of the season. I'm happy for Kyle Whittingham because, man, I hope it ends well for him, because last year left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And there was is desperation heavy? Probably. There's some desperation in Ute country for him to be better at the end. And I think all of us would agree they've been much better this year than last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. That's the super chat of the month. It might be.
Dude, that was gas, bro. I love that energy, man. That's good stuff right there.
I'm a huge fan of it. And the best part is Scotty Fox is actually really good. We talked about it on the show, 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
By the way, James, you should get your notepad out. This is what it looks like to be a loyal fan of your market right here. We've got the Carolina Panthers, the Tar Heels, and the Carolina Hurricanes.
Dude, look at that. That's fantastic. I love it, man. Like, I'm a huge fan of fandom. Like, Jake's sending me videos of Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah,
what
bro.
do you know about that?
Dude, what do you mean? What do I know about that? I grew up on him, man.
No, you did.
Derrick Rose against the Heat? Come on, bro. Sometimes I think you forget what generation I am, dude.
Sometimes I think you forget you're a Steph Curry fan, you prick.
Yeah, but that's after D Rose's time. That's after D Rose's time.
I bought you a Derrick Rose jersey and shoes. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
No, you're such an incredible.
I remember the shoes. I don't remember the jersey, though.
Yeah. I got you the black one with the red pinstripes. Yeah. You're a Curry fan? Yes, Jake is a big Steph Curry fan. Who's not a Steph Curry fan?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And note how well he's playing wearing Kobe's.
Just saying. Representing the brand.
Mike, Mountain Mama, West Virginia, until I die, Backwoods Sexy Smith.
Yeah.
Scotty Fox is an exciting player that gets his team pumped up like Garrett Green, but Scotty can actually throw and not just run. He's got the tools, dude. Scotty Fox could be that guy that Rich Rod leverages to because he's the kind of quarterback you want to play for, right? He's the guy that you want to run that route for. He's the guy that you want to block for. And it feels like he's that guy that Rich Rod can recruit with and be like, hey, come be this, come do that, be our. It feels like he's that guy. Scotty Fox plays. Henji? Nah, not so much. Wow.
Yeah, he plays the bench, Monty.
Do you guys watch the Jeff Teague podcast? That man is hilarious, has hilarious NBA stories. One time I've watched it. I should watch it more.
The Amon Shumpert Kobe story podcast is legendary.
Hook 'em. Your season's over. Well, Monty, we're still getting in. Yeah, where's Paxton? Big Daddy Magic. I am a Victor fan for life. Who's AJ?
Bro, we had no idea. We had no idea that you were a Victor fan. Did you? Thank you for refreshing us on that.
Jake,
Victor's the way.
Who's AJ Devanza? Huh. Never heard of him. Is that Tony Danza? Is that what you meant? Who's the boss? Tony Danza? Okay. Good TV, 90s TV reference. 80s, 90s. I love the Buffalo Bills, Utah Jazz. No, you're a BYU fan. Stop it. Why are you doing? See, Big Daddy Magic. I think
State James behavior, dude.
He might be on the spice.
Yeah.
He might be on the spice. You're a BYU fan. You know, Rich Rod and Pat White, those were the days. Were they, though? Best part of the NBA is Shaq, Kenny, Charles, Ernie. I can go down with the rabbit hole watching clips of them joking
around.
How
about, not that we plan to talk about this today, but how about ESPN? Did I see this, that they took Stephen A. Smith off NBA Countdown? Did I see that? I think I saw that.
He denies it. But has he been on? No, he hasn't. You guys, I love ESPN. I am passionate about ESPN. I loved my time working there. I hate a lot of what's going on at ESPN. The talking head shows.
I don't hate that baseball deal they did today.
Oh, fuck YouTube TV. Like, dude,
Boom. Out of here.
If it wasn't a tax write-off, I would not have it.
You're filling in for somebody.
Jake sent me that today, and it's funny. One of my friends who works at ESPN always breaks my balls about about watching hockey. Like, I actually have people in my life who are hockey fans.
Yeah. Not Mike Gundy, though.
Correct. And so I was ranting last week about how frustrating it is that I don't know where to find a game. Perfect example last night. Bedsy has a hat trick last night.
Yeah.
Thankfully, where was it? ESPN. I have the ESPN app on the TV out front. And so Mrs. Monty and I, while I was fighting the good fight against Amazon last night, we're sitting there fighting Amazon and watching Bedsy score like 3 of the best goals. The empty netter that Bedard put down last night, stupid. The first goal he had where he like tapped it between the goaltenders, wickets.
Yeah, he tapped it. Oh.
I cannot wait to dump YouTube TV. Fug YouTube TV. Yeah. What's the update with ESPN and YouTube TV?
Do you think like next year for next football season,
I won't buy the Sunday ticket.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think I'm going to.
TV.
I don't think I'm going to.
At this point, and look, I understand that now I'm skinny. I'm holier than thou.
Right. And you're a Louis guy now, so that changes things.
And it's dragging on the ground between my legs. But the point is,
right.
Holden Middick.
On principle, I hate YouTube TV. It is so frustrating to me that I can't find where my game is that I want to watch. I have no idea where to watch it. So where do I end up going to find out where my game is? I go to the ESPN app. I want to know where the Cubs are. I go to the ESPN app. I want to know where the Bears are.
Say, quite frankly, fuck you.
Right? I want to know where the Hawks are last night. ESPN Plus. I go to ESPN anyway. The only thing that I need YouTube TV for is ease of finding Caitlin Collins' Joker-looking face. That's the only thing that I need it for. I only said that because Jake strokes his forearms to Caitlin Collins. Are you still irrationally attracted to her?
Yeah. I like Caitlin Collins.
You're
What? What?
Jake?
Yeah. She's a good reporter, bro. She does a good job. Yeah.
Big Daddy Magic and AJ Devanza, or you and Caitlin Collins? Who's more irrationally attracted to somebody they're never going to have any contact with? You or BDM?
BDM, but
No,
I'm not
you
far
are-
behind.
Have you ever accidentally called her Caitlin? You have. You have. Oh, Caitlin! You have. Anyway.
That's bullshit.
I'm a terrible person. I understand. Doug Riley, did anyone see the amazing interception from Kanapula, the Utah recruit? How could you not? It was all over the old X machine. It is. But here's my point. Doesn't this right here play into the Big 12's conundrum? Like, I want to understand. Like, what's broken? Doug, you're not taking me off the cliff. Damn it. I'm so frustrated with the Big 12. Like, it is quite literally frustrating to me that the Big 12 just won't raise the bar. And I love that it is all of the old school Big 12 fans. Oh, we don't want Utah here. They want to go to the Big 10. Okay. Well, guess what? They're carrying your league.
Yeah, take it. See ya.
Utah, BYU, and Texas Tech. Carrying the league. ASU, carrying the league. Where are you? Well, you're too busy hating Utah. That's right, I forgot. To pay attention to the fact your team sucks. We keeping it buck, we ass. Yeah.
You are, bro. You are.
We keeping the buck right now, we ass.
It's just really like Utah, BYU. Nobody follows recruiting. I totally get that. I'm a loser. Utah and BYU are running circles around people. Watch the portal. It's as simple as that. Do you guys understand that Utah?
Well, the pre-portal. The pre-portal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sam Leavitt's rumored to be going to Texas Tech. Can you imagine if, let me get this right. So you're losing Baron Morton and you're gaining a Sam Leavitt. Do you know how good this team would be? Honest to goodness, if Sam Leavitt was their quarterback, I think they would be competing for a national championship. I don't know who would be better than them. I would put their defense with the Ohio State's defense. A healthy Sam Leavitt. You're not going to be Ohio State's offense. You're better than Georgia at that point. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Because Georgia's built on defense.
Texas, but Gunner played plenty good enough. You don't get to say Texas had a great defense and discount.
Right. Gunner played well enough. Texas Tech with Sam Leavitt's better than Georgia with Gunner Stockton. And I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
You put Sam Leavitt in Tortilla Town, and that's a national championship contender. They're better than Alabama, I can tell you that right now. They're better than Notre Dame. Texas A&M. I've seen some things out of Texas A&M that I don't love. But here nor there. I think this would come down to Georgia, Ohio State. I think they're better than Indiana. Because if you can man up in physical Indiana on offense, if your defense can push Indiana's offense, you're going to beat Indiana. I think this will come down to this year. It'll come down to Ohio State and Georgia because I think they are the two best teams.
So then where's Kenny going if he's going to Texas Tech? Because he's not leaving Kenny.
I don't know. Ask me when Florida State becomes available because I think this story right here should terrify some people. And I know that nobody respects Jon Summerall, and nobody wants to talk about why this is important and what it means. And Jon Summerall is going to take a job is what it means. Now, I'm convinced Jon Summerall is going to Auburn. I'm also convinced, and I talked to another person today, Lincoln Riley. If Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, I am more and more in the belief system that Lincoln Riley has a shot at Florida if he wants it. And I am more and more convinced that Bob Chesney is going to take, I think Bob Chesney is going to take the Penn State job. I think Bob Chesney, because now if we start looking at the domino effect, okay, Vodtech, I think we all knew, I told you when they fired James Franklin, I feel like James Franklin, Vodtech, and I think Vodtech was going to be the first one to hire a coach. Not rocket science, totally get it. Okay. My feeling is UCLA is making a push right now to get Bob Chesney, and I don't think they can get him because I think he'd rather go home to Penn State. And Penn State's a big job. Far greater than UCLA. Especially for an East Coast guy, in my opinion. I think Bob Chesney takes Penn State. But I think UCLA is going to be the next one to hire a coach. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go, because I think UCLA really wants Bob Chesney. As they should. I think he's a really good candidate. A really, really good candidate.
Yeah, I think that the risk Penn State is taking if they were to hire Bob Chesney is foolish. I think that UCLA can hire Bob Chesney and it will be regarded as a good hire because he would be probably the most new age, younger playing modern kind of style head coach that you've had in Lord knows how long.
Why would Bob Chesney be a bad hire? I mean, he's from the state, right? What is Bob Chesney? 50 years old, something like that. He's a guy that has won at every level, right? He's somebody who, I was looking at his record. I think he's 130-51. I was looking at, the guy's won. The guy fucking wins. And he's from Pennsylvania. I think Bob Chesney.
He's 48.
48, thank you. I think Bob Chesney would be a really good hire for them. I think he'd be a really good hire for them. And I understand that the Holy Cross is not impressive to anybody, but the guy's 18-5 at JMU. That's not nothing. Right? And again, I think in terms of Happy Ending Valley, being from there matters.
Yeah, but
being from there matters.
But are you a big time program or not? Like, are you a juggernaut or not? If you're a juggernaut, you're not hiring him. Like, you're not.
Man, I think you're underselling him.
Well, sorry, dude. He's at, with all due respect, I get it. He's doing a great job at JMU. I'm not trying. It's not about him. It's about Penn State and how they value themselves. Like, Penn State was, because I'm not letting them off the hook, dude. Oh, we're gonna fire James because it wasn't good enough. To go and hire him? A group of 6 guy? No, sorry, dude. No, you're not doing that, dude. I get it that he's talented, and I'm sure he's a hell of a coach. He's doing a great job. I have no doubt about that. That does not mean that that's a good hire for Penn State, dude. Sorry, bro. Not good enough. Not good enough. If you're a juggernaut of a program, you're going after, not that Lane Kiffin would ever take it, but that's, you're going after top candidates. You're going after Kenny. You're going after, you're going after those kind of guys, not guys who've never coached at the power level.
We are totally different on this. I think that 9-1 at JMU is really impressive. And I think when you start looking at Chesney's, the scope of his style, his career, his young moxie, I think it's awfully difficult not to be excited about him. I mean, UCLA can't hire Jerry Neuheisel. Can't do that. But who is, if you think about, who are the other names at UCLA? Well, I think one of the most intriguing names is Tommy Rees, because Tommy Rees probably should have got a job last year and chose not to. And now he's kind of stuck in Cleveland. I think Bob Chesney's a far better hire than Tommy Rees would be. And I like Tommy Rees. I think he's an offensive juggernaut. And the guy has been mentored by some titans. I think you're looking at Tommy Rees going to UCLA, and I think Bob Chesney takes the Penn State job. I don't know how you wouldn't. I mean, and again, what did you say? Bob Chesney's 48?
Yeah.
How is that a bad hire?
Because he doesn't have the experience that you need to go out and win a national championship.
Yeah.
That's why. He's and I want to be really specific. He's a bad hire for Penn State because of who and why you fired the last guy. The precedent that you sent, right? Hey, we're in the CFP conversation every year. We weren't getting in at a high enough clip, and then when we got in, we lost. So you go and hire a guy who's at JMU right now having success. That was the best you could do. You couldn't go and get the absolute best talent at the power level to come in and take this program to a championship level.
Right, but then the question I would ask is a group of 5 head coach better than a coordinator? I look at Dan Lanning.
No, I'd rather have Will Stein than Chesney.
You're fucking crazy. Oh my God. I think that's crazy. I think this guy's a recruiter. I think he's a developer. I think he's young. Every recruit's mom wants to hit that. Okay. I mean, well, yeah, Sig is a good example of that. Now, but Sig's totally different. Sig's like 97 years old. But I also think this goes back to who can Penn State get? Who's going to be better than Bob Chesney?
Kenny Dillingham.
I wouldn't hire Kenny Dillingham at Penn State.
Jed Fish.
I wouldn't hire Jed Fish at Penn State.
Brian Kelly.
I wouldn't hire Brian Kelly at Penn State.
Well, then Penn State's not going to win.
Brian Kelly. We know who Brian Kelly is. We know who that. Right? I just think the hard part is you can't take a risk on a guy like a Jed Fish.
Okay. How about Garrett Riley?
I'd rather have Bob Chesney.
Well, then that's a personal preference, and that's fine. This is one of those where it's fine to disagree. I mean, that's just a philosophical thing. You know, I mean, I think that again, I just think that if you're a P5 program or P4 program now that wants to compete at the highest level and was in the CFP, not this year, but last year, like, you can't go from that to a group of 5 guy that's having a bunch of success and think that, that's not a risk.
But that happens, but it happens all the time. I mean, if who's a group of 5 guy?
Like, if this is the case, why are you not going after Spencer Danielson?
What about a Kalen DeBoer? Kalen DeBoer was at Fresno State. And I'm sure UW fan Jim's going to beat my ass if I'm wrong about this. I'm pretty sure he was at Fresno State and then went to Washington. I don't know. Run on the give me why Will Stein. Give me the Will Stein argument.
Yeah, well, I think Will Stein's part of a power program right now. He's been to the CFP, and he knows how to recruit at the power level. I think one of the biggest issues, again, and this is a Penn State specific argument, I think one of the biggest issues is that Penn State was at a certain level and fired that guy because they viewed him as mediocre after losing 3 games. And albeit, the Oregon loss was, quite frankly, heartbreaking and just not good enough if you're Penn State. But, you were in the CFP last year, man. Like you were there and you just lost. And so then you essentially said, okay, we had the following year, we just didn't meet expectations, the Aller injury, it just didn't go our way. So we're going to fire you. That was your mindset. Hey, like those 3 losses, because of the way it went down, yeah, it's not good enough, dude. And your record against power opponents and ranked opponents, like it all paints a picture of a guy who just can't get it done at the highest level. So you fire that guy. And then the argument being made is, well, hey, you've got Bob Chesney here doing great things at JMU. Again, I don't have any issue with Bob as a candidate. I think he should be looking at power jobs, and I think he'll get a power job. But I just think for Penn State specifically, you can't say, hey, well, we were in the CFP last year. Our bro lost 3 games, and his quarterback got majorly injured doing it. And now we decided to fire that guy because it wasn't good enough. And our fallback plan was a 48-year-old having success at JMU who's never been to the CFP and never had to recruit at the power level against the guys that we're going to be competing with in the CFP. Because if Ryan Day calls you and Bob Chesney calls you, you're not winning that one, right? Like, you're just not. That's not happening.
I just would disagree with that. I think Bob Chesney's been a hell of a recruiter. And I think the other thing that he has is regionally, nobody calls them the knuckle deep boys. Like Penn State recruiting wise, I mean, look at the talent they have, right? I mean, it's not hard to recruit to Penn State when you're competing in the Big Ten. It's hard to recruit to Penn State when you are competing against the SEC. And I think that's the argument that a lot of people make, that it's not easy to recruit to Happy Ending Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I don't know. We can agree to disagree.
But look, I think on the other side of it,
it's not a right or wrong thing.
No, I'm not. I agree with that. But I think on the other side of it, if Penn State, Nebraska Penn State has flipped their philosophy on this, or maybe because, like, as an example, just hypothetically, hey, we didn't get Matt Rule. We're definitely not getting Lane Kiffin. Okay, maybe we need to change our stance on this. Maybe we need to change our strategy. Maybe we need to think outside the box a little bit. Maybe we need to, reach further down the depths of the system here and find someone that'll kind of shock the system a little bit. Okay, well, and I don't know what Bob's making off the top of my head. Obviously, I'd have to look. But you want to pay a guy sub 10 mil a year to come in and try to exceed his experience level and his time in college football?
Well, you're not going to pay him sub 10 million.
Well,
look, if you hire Bob Chesney, it doesn't.
What are you? So you're going to pay him like 13, 14?
No, you're probably going to pay him $10 to $12 million a year. I mean, I think he's probably making less than $1 million now. I mean, he's a G5 guy. He's probably making around $700,000-800,000. I can look it up. But I think he's somebody that Bob Chesney's making $834,000, and he's got a total comp package worth $2.75 million.
I mean, yeah.
I think you're going to pay him $10 to $12 million a year.
I would not feel comfortable paying him 12 or 11. It would be 10. That's what I would be at. That would be my ceiling. I would prefer to have him at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
With incentives to get to 10, maybe.
I think it's becoming a problem for Penn State because everybody you've chased said no.
Agreed.
Matt Rule signed an extension. Signetti signed an extension. Mike Elko signed an extension.
Bro, did you guys hear what Drink said today? Did you hear the Drinkowitz denial today, dude?
No,
this was nothing.
Okay, now, and this is important, but real quick. Calamoni gifts 20 Monty Show memberships. Calamoni, may you have an opening job too, as well. Wish you were me, a member for 13. Yeah, Tress came from Youngstown State. That's a great point. Okay, let me ask you this about the coaching carousel and Eli Drinkwitz and this bite we're going to play. I don't believe that any of these guys, and this is just my opinion, and you guys tell me what you think, because I think, first of all, do you think that Eli Drinkwitz is a quality candidate? I know you don't think anybody lives up to your expectations.
I would rather see Penn State hire Drinkwitz than Bob Chesney, if that's what you're asking.
I think that's very fair. So would I. I think Eli Drinkwitz, I've said this for weeks, I think he's an elite candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I don't think he denied rumors here. I don't believe, you listen to Eli Drinkwitz here. Did he say, I am not leaving Missouri?
Two things I want to address real quick just before we get going. Number one, job rumors. I'm not going to comment on message board chatters, tweets, sources. I've maintained with you and our team that my complete focus is on the task at hand. I would like to remind everybody, including our fans, we absolutely love Mizzou. We love what we're building. We've been to 6 straight bowl games. We've got the sellout streak going. Our administration has been nothing but phenomenal to me. Since I've been here, I've signed multiple extensions. In fact, I signed one this past summer. So all the speculation is really a tribute to them, and it's a tribute to our team's success and their commitment to our team. And that's where my focus is going to remain on our team and our current situation, and I'm not going to get into all that stuff because, again, it's just a distraction.
Coach speak much?
Did you want to go ahead and reciprocal saw that idea that he just denied taking jobs?
By the way, hey, bro, maybe you could put on a shirt that's branded, bruh, instead of just an all-black shirt. Like, maybe we could be wearing some team gear while we lie out of our ass.
He did not deny interest in other jobs. That's my point.
No, what did he say? He said, hey, I'm not going to talk about it because it's a distraction, which, again, I agree with everyone who's been commenting this week, and I agree with you. That's about 2 seconds away from, sorry, guys, we're getting out. If you want to hop in the portal and join me at Petter Ass you can do that.
And again, I would say, how else would you like him to handle it?
I don't know. That's the problem. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Yeah, guys. Yep. I'm looking at the Penn State job. We're just sizing the khakis and the navy blue sweater I'm going to wear. So, sorry about that. All right. Any questions about football? He's not going to say that. That's not how it goes.
Toot, is Joey McGuire one of the best 10 coaches? No. No proof of that until this year when they spent all that money. So maybe get a good coach, spend big money to buy players like Tech did. I think the jury's out on Joey. One of these coaches in the college football playoff is going to crap themselves during a game. It happens every year. TCU James, I can speak from experience. Les Miles said the same stuff in 2004. And the day after the Alamo Bowl, he was in Louisiana saying, I love LSU. Well, that's not your experience. That's everybody's experience. So, Big Blue Horses, Tressel, Urban Saban, these guys came from small schools to big schools in an era that is over. You can't point to those guys and say, what about, or yeah, but, when making a case. New era, new day. I think there's truth in that. I think the hardest part for somebody like Bob Chesney is that there's going to be a lot of skeptics. There's going to be a lot of pressure. People are going to say they made a mistake hiring you. Nobody's going to say you made a mistake hiring Lane Kiffin or Eli Drinkwitz. But that's the business you chose. You know. Goldfinger, what's up, Goldfinger? We love this university, said every coach who leaves in December. True. Truth. I mean,
true, man.
Matt Campbell to Penn State could happen. Sure, for sure. Lane Train wore a light blue shirt with no team school affiliation when on the Pat McAfee show, and he does on a regular basis.
Hey, it didn't his media availability.
You know. What you like, a drink or shake with that coach speak, Jake? Exactly.
Yeah, dude. Can I get a Modelo and maybe some nachos with that coach speak while I ingest your line of crap drink?
Are you guys jealous that in 3 hours I'll be eating at the hottest restaurant opening in
what are you
Seattle
gonna get, dude? Are you getting lasagna or what are you getting?
I'm hoping so. I don't know. Hour number 3 of the Monty Show. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. With the holidays here, there's going to be a lot of people driving this weekend. Jake, are you, what time's your flight to Los Angeles?
It's about Friday at 4:00.
When you get in the car and drive 15 hours.
Yeah, I'm doing it 2 parts. I'm hoteling the first part.
Why? How much do you think this drive's going to cost you? This is a great argument. Would you rather? How long do you think the drive is? I think it's 15 hours. You said, right?
Thereabouts. Depend traffic. The usual stuff.
Dog crapping in the car.
Right. Yeah.
Where are you going to stop on the way down?
Sacramento.
Oh, man, I miss Sacramento. So you're going to stop in Sacramento. You're probably going to pay $100 for a hotel room.
Something like that. Yeah. I'd have to ask some thereabouts. Yeah.
So you're into this easily, this trip for probably $500 minimum, just in driving there and driving back.
Yeah. I mean, if we're just doing a rough estimate on gas, it's, one way, it's about 900 miles. So, you're talking about
2.5, 3 tanks.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 tanks. So, that's probably, I guess if we're putting California prices on it, let's call it, $120, $40-$50 a tank, so call it $150. Just be, we'll just be $150. Okay. $150 in gas, $100, call it $200 for the room. I think it's less than that, but we'll just say $300 to get down there. The thing that I always come down with is, okay, if I'm gone for a weekend, I'll fly, right? If it's a weekend, I will fly. If it's a week, that's a different thing, because with being gone a week, boarding my dog, that's probably, I don't know, it's probably $500, $600 at least, So if you do the drive, you're under that for sure. It just takes more time. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I get it. It's not sexy.
4 days. And 4 days. It's 4 days.
Yeah, I get it.
4 days. So you're leaving Friday and getting there Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm flying in Sunday. First class Delta.
Good for you, bro.
But interestingly enough, I'm taking my dog on the plane. So we've been trying to train him to get in this little carrier thing. And we are going to put him on bath salts to make him relax. So, UW fan Jim, Jedfish told the media he loves it at Washington. So that means he's not going anywhere. He's making around $8 with a $10 million buyout. He'll get a fat raise if he stays, but who knows? We'll see. Are you having a show tomorrow? Why? It's Thursday. Why wouldn't we have a show on a Thursday? The Buffalo Bills are on nationwide TV tomorrow. Okay. Was it like a holiday? You know.
And you know the other thing, just really quick, about the driving thing? It's difficult to get direct flights out of Eugene. So you got to go Eugene, Salt Lake, Long Beach. You got to play the tic-tac-toe game, versus, you can get direct.
Do you hate living in Eugene?
I do.
No!
I do.
You do?
We hate living in, it's unfair to compare Eugene to, bigger markets, right? Like, it's like, I'm a big believer you can compare Salt Lake to LA. You can compare Salt Lake to Seattle, Chicago. Like, there are comparisons that you can make in style of living and like, all of that. I think one of the biggest challenges with Eugene is that Oregon's awesome. I mean, flat out, it's an awesome experience. The stadium. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible, right? I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. And I'm not even really an Oregon fan. It's just, but the hard part is and I've known this about life. This isn't new, and you guys know this, but like, you don't realize how much you value things until you don't have them, as always.
Correct.
So like,
correct.
Everything from quality convenience stores, right? Maverick, QT, whatever it might be, everything from that to grocery stores. So with my setup, I don't leave the house much during the week, right? But when I do leave the house, usually it's for my grocery run and going to Costco. I have a Costco here. Costco's all right. I would say it's a pretty average Costco compared to the ones that I've been to, specifically the one in Riverton where I was living. That was an extremely nice Costco, mainly because it was new. But like not having a really nice grocery store around, I think like things like the quality of your movie theater, things like in my opinion, again, and maybe I'm not even trying to be a red ass, but like most towns I've lived in, like Phoenix has Tempe, Main Street. You can go, if you want to go to a bar, you go to downtown Tempe, right? Salt Lake's got Sugar House.
Get some wings and troll for chicks.
Yeah, there are hot spots where you can go and you can have a good time and then you can leave, But I haven't had that. Eugene's one of the few places where I haven't had that experience yet. Maybe it's because I haven't been out enough. Okay, maybe I just missed it. But I just don't feel like
isn't it literally the university and then a bunch of trees?
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
That's essentially what Eugene is.
That's not really an exaggeration. It's the school. And again, because I know there are people at Oregon who listen to this show. I love the campus. Dude, one of my favorite things about living here is the dog park that I go to on a pretty regular basis. It's awesome. It's freaking huge. Like, there's always a ton of dogs. It's a great dog park. One of the best dog parks I've ever been to. But the thing one of the weirdest experiences that I've had living in Eugene, and this kind of speaks to the size of the market and the day-to-day, is there's no freeway here. There's no major, like the 5 runs through Eugene as it does up and down the coast. And that's what'll be my thoroughfare, 13 hours on the 5 to go to LA. But in the day-to-day, you don't drive on a freeway. Yeah. You have the 126.
You don't drive on Jake. You don't drive on the freeway and you don't drive on streets. You drive on roads.
Yeah. Right, exactly. You drive on roads, right? So, is it beautiful? Absolutely. The trees are incredible. My local golf course is one of the favorite, next to Glenmore in South Jordan. I still would prefer that, but the course I have here, I love it. It's great. It's unique little course, really fun to play.
Golf course?
Yeah, golf is this thing that I used to do before it rained every day, but I'm sure I'll revisit that at some point when I'm like an 800 handicap from not swinging in 6 months. But it just is. It is. I wouldn't say that I hate Eugene. I think that that's really strong. What I feel is that there's just not a ton to do here when you come from a place where there's a lot to do, where you have options that you take for granted. And that's
and you're not a guy that owns flannel.
Yeah, like I'm not a huge camper. I'm not a big hiker. Like I'm not,
you camp on Battlefield. You don't camp like in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things
Does it impact your mental health?
I wouldn't say it impacts my mental health. No, I think that I've lived in a lot of places, and I understand that I'm not gonna, be here for 50 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously life goes on, things develop. Who the hell knows? Like, we all move. It is what it is, right? And I think that, again, living on the West Coast, you have options. You can go places. So I don't think that I wouldn't say it affects my mental health. I think that what is hard is like at least in Salt Lake, I know, hey, like if I had a bad day, if I'm pissed off or in a bad mood, all right, I'm gonna go for a quick like half-hour drive or like go and do something. And again, I do want to say, for the record, in fairness to Eugene, there actually is some really good driving roads that I know are there, and I just haven't gone, so that's on me. But I just, it's difficult. It's a difficult adjustment to go from a place where it's like, yeah, dude, I got a Maverick 2 minutes from my house, and that's clutch. I've got one of my favorite grocery store brands in Harmon's that is an absolute elite experience, actual like a luxury shopping experience, I would say, that I took for granted, even though it's a little more expensive. So, it is what it is. Like, yes, it is Oregon, and that's pretty much it. But, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how long we'll be here or what it is. What I can say, though, is one of the things that's disappointed me about Eugene is the lack of diversity in housing. You either do what I did and you get into a sight unseen situation that's a new build, and you deal with the issues.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, and your smoke alarms go off in the middle of the night. Or you try to live in Eugene, proper Eugene, by campus, and it's all older and like, it's very spotty.
Yeah.
Which disappoints me. I do wish that there was more housing options. I do.
And I will say that that's one of the things I love about living in Seattle is that I want for nothing. Now, I also pay $4,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk everywhere. I love living here. I love everything about the big city. Do I love the noise on Friday night at 1 a.m? No. But do I love walking down to Pike and getting some, great chowder or pork buns or a great gyro? Yes.
But it's the energy. That's the thing. It's the energy. No matter what you do, there's always energy.
I'm going to a restaurant opening tonight. There's always something. I live in a condo tower where a guy just got what I think is probably the nicest Ferrari I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am constantly amazed at this guy 4 stalls away from me or 5 stalls away from me just got a GT3 RS. Like, I saw the car carrier deliver it the other day. It's crazy. And so when you see guys roll up in these unbelievable cars, or this dude that has one. I mean, again, I'm a car guy. I had no idea that this level of car was in Seattle. I had no idea, right? Like, it is amazing to me that's the energy. You're right. The energy of the city. That's the thing that I just think that people don't understand how hard it is when you go from a town like Salt Lake City and you come to Seattle and you see a Revelto parked in your garage, for instance. There is a bright orange Revelto parked 2 levels above my car. Like, it's unbelievable the money that's in my garage. And then you go to Eugene and all you see is Subaru and flannels all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. I totally get that.
Yeah,
I totally understand that.
Yeah, but one of the things I do like about Eugene is the people. I'll say that. I think, one of the most interesting parts is like, if you say nothing to anybody, nobody will say anything to you. Like, very much a do your own thing, handle your business kind of town. At the same time, if you put a smile on, people will respond. They'll give you a smile, which I appreciate because you don't get that everywhere. I didn't feel like I got that in Salt Lake very much. I didn't feel like I got that sort of reciprocal, like, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. How are you, man? Like that very like casual talk kind of deal. And you do get that in Eugene. And the people I've had the opportunity to meet, both at Oregon and just in general, have been great. I think the people in Eugene are awesome. And I've had the opportunity to golf with some randoms that were really cool. And like, I've just had good luck with people here, which is great. So I think it's a trade-off. I think if you ask me like, hey, like what's your ideal? Like if going to Eugene is a lot more different than you thought it would be coming from Salt Lake. I think my ideal is probably a mix of both. I don't know that I would love to live downtown for a long period of time. I certainly would love to have a spot where I could weekend it frequently. But I'm definitely bigger house situation, renting or owning, bigger house, more space, and in a place where I can go out and get away from people when I want to and still have the option to go and find the city vibe-ish when I want to. That's what my ideal would be.
My ideal would be that a tall and skinny on the water in Huntington Beach and the ability to go and have a home spread up in Bear or somewhere in the mountains. Yeah. That'd be ideal. Monty, do you like going to lakes in the summer, boats and jet skis? I do. One of my favorite memories when I was a young buck and I was selling door to door in Florida was going to Okeechobee and wakeboarding every night. It was amazing. But I don't get to do it. I agree. Audi Q8 RS. Yes, I'm a big Audi fan. It was an evening show. Then it went to mornings. Now it's back in the evenings, John Ritter. Okay.
Really quick, can I just, I'm taking the opportunity to be a complete red ass to James right now. Yes. It's not a Q8 RS, dude.
No, it's not.
It's not a Q8
I was gonna
RS.
let it go for once.
It's an RS Q8. Okay. It's not a Q8 RS. Sorry, dude. I'm not trying to be an asshole.
I was going to let it go, but
I can't let it go. I'm sorry.
Always thought this was a morning show.
Yeah, it is. That's why we're doing it at 4:17 Pacific.
Jake pressures me hey, we're going back to morning. When are we going to do that, bro? I live in Texas, so I'll make sure to start watching live because I love this back and forth. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro. Yeah. Honestly, a lot of people have said, oh, well, Texas. I see all these realtors on Instagram and TikTok making a bunch of content about housing in Texas and, the Metroplex has great housing. Like this whole concept. I love this, not to get too far in the weeds, but this concept of, hey, move to Texas, live about 25 to 30 minutes away from the Metroplex, get a house that's new and big and a big piece of land for like $400,000. Sounds like a magical formula, right? But I'm not sure that I'm convinced about living in Texas yet. No. I still need to hear the sales pitch, dude, because I don't like the power grid stuff that you guys deal with. I certainly am not interested in hurricanes, and I definitely am not interested in the politics.
Taxes.
Like if I'm gonna live in like if you were like, hey, well, what would you consider more towards the middle of the country, not so far towards the coast? I would not pick Texas, dude. I'm sorry. And it's not because I hate the people. It's just the politics are not for me.
I am not moving to the central part of this country ever again. I think the weather is ass. I think you know what I like the energy thing. I love the fact that I get in my elevator every day. And it's a melting pot of people who are going through shit. And most of the people are energized. Most of the people are. What I hate about living in the Midwest, when I lived in Missouri, what I hated was the depression, the people, the oppression, the religion, the taxes, the bullshit. When I go back to Chicago, the exact same thing. I love to visit Chicago. I don't want to live there. I love the energy of the water. I love so much that I look out my window and I can see the Puget Sound. I love that I go for a walk. Like my first bike ride was along the water. Being by the water now, it's an absolute game changer. And It is what it is. Yeah. Guy, what does it mean that you don't have state taxes?
You're gonna get your ass one way or the other, dude.
The sales pitch on Texas, I get it. I totally get it. And if it was just the boomerang taxes, as they're called, if you're a property owner or a low income bearer, you're screwed. It is, if you're a millionaire, billionaire in Texas, fantastic. Your life is good. But I want to live near the water. It just, as sure as I can say it. Yes, no state income tax. Just don't like it in Austin. Austin's tough. Austin's in that area where you're like College Station, Houston, like Austin, San Antonio. Like you're just in that.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting neck of the woods, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I want to live there. I truly am not convinced. I really like Washington, but I'm telling you, I know Texans. I've spent a lot of time in Texas, and I'm not telling you that Washington is even affordable. What I'm telling you is the lifestyle in Washington is significantly better than it is in Texas. And I understand, dude, we have militias and some of the shit that goes on in Eastern Washington. We don't talk about that. But the culture, the food, the people, the atmosphere.
I also would say
business, the money making.
I would also point out too, which I think is very fair in this conversation. You and Mrs. Monty are in a pretty elite position in a lot of different areas. You know, not everyone always just wants to talk about the money. I like, yeah, it's more expensive to live in Seattle. That goes without saying. But,
I would agree.
But like, you know, like having a family, doing kids, all that stuff is not even something you guys even need to worry about. You're basically just doing your thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a really elite position to be in, and that's great. I'm not saying that as any type of criticism. I'm just saying that it's this thing where it's like, I think for a lot of people, they think living on the coast and like, well, you know, the kids and, you know, careers and so everyone's situation is a little bit different, you know. So if you're including that stuff, I think, you know, that's largely what ends up making the decision is like where you're at in life. But I think that I think that Texas is not for everybody, dude. And it doesn't mean it's a bad place. I just think that there's a lot of
I think
there.
Texas is fantastic for a lot of reasons. And I think it's just not for everybody. Washington, Chicago, LA, Florida, New York.
Not for everybody.
Pennsylvania. Yeah. Home is where you want to be and where you're comfortable. And I have had the great fortune of living in every corner of this country. And I'm telling you, if you love Texas, God damn it, thrive, man. If you're thriving in LA or you're thriving in Seattle or you're thriving in West Virginia, our biggest markets are LA, San Diego, Phoenix, Salt Lake City,
Austin,
Las Vegas. What's that?
Austin,
Texas, Dallas, Houston. We love all you guys. And it's what I always say. Like Arch Manning is a Texan. Yes, he is. I want to live on the lake and fish when I'm old somewhere in Texas. Do it.
Nothing wrong with that, bro.
Build that life. I think the hardest part is when you don't have kids and you're going to have kids, you have to really think about that. Yeah. And again, my belief is you can't do that in the Midwest. I think when we talk about what the future of this country looks like, you have to set your kids up from birth because it's such a long road anymore. And I think you have to do what's best for the next decade. You have to financially plan. You got to earn, dude. If you're going to have kids, you better be an earner because life is not going to get cheaper.
No,
it is not going to get cheaper. It just isn't.
By the way, speaking of not cheaper, finally have samples on the way for the old Amazon business. So that was cool. That that popped up. Got some traction on that, so that was cool.
That's all. And you're not going to launch until the first quarter.
Yeah, mainly because I'm out of time to launch any sooner than
I would
that.
agree. Yeah, I had a huge battle. So you guys, there's a lot of new people listening to the show. You may or may not know that I do e-commerce as one of my income streams. It's been ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. My experience with Amazon has been, if it's easy, Amazon's great. If there are no problems, Amazon's great. You have one problem, and it is a huge problem. So for me, I sell a toy, and that toy had to be tested. Well, the problem is I listed it. My supplier gave me the test. I submitted it. Amazon approved it, listed the product. I stocked 175 units. Amazon delisted the product and said, we need a test from one of these labs. They changed their policy almost as I listed the toy. All right, so what that means is they delist it, so your listing's no longer public. People can't buy your toy, and your product is sitting in their warehouses. It takes about 45 days and $1,000 to get a product tested. So they tell you we're going to remove your product on, for me, November 18th. Okay, great. The test was uploaded and approved in their system on November 16th. They sent me an email on the 17th saying, we're removing your product for good. I spent weeks telling them, hey, here's where we are with the test. Here's where we are with the test. And I called them last Saturday and said, the test is going to be uploaded tomorrow. I want to make sure my product is good. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. So they removed it. I spent the better part of 7 hours yesterday on the phone with Amazon. I had two people from two different departments fighting with each other about the situation. And then I got so mad last night that finally I just called Amazon again, and I found a woman who, A, speaks English, is based in Seattle, who said, oh yeah, here, let me take care of this. Because it was an accident. It was a mistake by Amazon to destroy my products. They didn't turn off an automatic trigger once the test was approved. So she, in 5 minutes, canceled the destruction order and sent out a work order to all 22 warehouses where my product is being housed, because they spread your product across the country. And within probably 6 days, I'll have all my product back live on Amazon on my listing. But it took 3 days and just a bunch of bullshit to get it through. And that's how Amazon is. They do not care, and they don't have to care. Nope. And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. So it is brutal. Do a YouTube search for places to move that will pay you. Some pretty interesting videos. I think small Nebraska and Indiana towns was on that I've seen. Ireland and Italy is on that list as well. So I was raised in Coachella Valley, fight on Natties, Thousand Palms, Desert Hot Springs, and graduated from Palm Springs High. Let's go. Love it. Cattle, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, cat. See what Monty, have you ever been to OKC? It's not bad. Norman and Edmond are small towns near. Yeah, I've been to Oklahoma City. Beautiful. I've driven through. I haven't spent a lot of time there, but yeah. I love Florida. Miss the snow, but love it. Political climate's very interesting, and hurricanes. So, and hurricanes. You know, I'm saying. But real quick before we get to Japanese bears attacking people, I do want to update the Rolo story. The Rolex is here. I told you yesterday. And you'll notice, so this is the Rolex. Can you guys see that at all?
Yeah.
It's authentic Rolex. There you go. That says Rolex Geneva Suisse. Okay, and then when you open the box, genuine Rolex. And the watch is, you guys, I don't even know what to say. It is absolutely fantastic. And it is stunning. It is beautiful. It is everything you want a Rolo to be.
Yeah, dude.
You
Pretty.
can really see it. It's heavy. It's got all the stamps on it. You see the Rolex stamp right there, on the gate. And it is just the action of the band. The thing that you can always tell about authentics and not authentics. This stamp right here is a huge tell, not authentic. And just the metal that makes the watch is such a huge part of authentic versus not authentic.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an incredible piece, you guys. It is worth every ounce of the consternation I went through to get this watch. And I am telling you, I'm all in on the plug situation. I'm all in on. What's the matter, Jake?
Nothing. No, I was just, the plug has been about excluding one item, it's been pretty reliable.
It really has been. It really has been amazing. And these GMT Master 2s are such awesome pieces from Rolex. And sir, your Rolex is ticking. Yeah, it is. It's amazing, you guys. To finally have one it's incredible. And just the thing that you quickly realize when and I'm a bit of a watch guy, like I love my Omega. I have an Omega that I love dearly. This is such a better piece than the Omega is. It's just stunning, bros. Like I can't tell you enough just how incredible this piece is. I don't even know. I'm not even sure how I would explain to anybody the level at which this watch performs. I like, in all seriousness. And I know you guys probably think I'm full of shit or whatever, but it's incredible when you hold it in your hand and you just look at the crown on it and you see like the logo on the crown, and I'm amazed by it. And no, I don't. A lot of people ask me about, am I going to share it? Or I'm not going to share the plug because it's not hard to find. It's not hard to find, is what I would say. So yeah. I would encourage you guys, for everybody who always asks me, hey, will you share it? I would tell you that I won't share it, but they're not hard to find. And you should absolutely go get one for yourself, because they're just spectacular pieces, dudes. They're so good.
They're not millions of dollars.
No, they're not. And that's probably the best part of it, is that they're not millions of dollars. So I'm thrilled with it. So Jake,
yeah, I'm happy for you that it arrived. I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah, me too. I was quite concerned. And then it finally showed up. So
bro showed up at the door yesterday.
He did, which was awkward, because then I saw him downstairs after the show, which really was it really was pretty awkward when homie showed up. So I'm rather glad that that's done.
But listen, I think, Toot's got a really important question here for you just regarding the watch.
Mm-hmm.
Monty, does your will leave the watch to Jake, James, or BDM?
I don't think there's any doubt that Big Daddy Magic is not getting this Rolex.
Erroneous.
That's why I got it in Buffalo Bills colors. It's called a GMT Pepsi. You can look it up online. I got it in Buffalo Bills colors just simply so that I wouldn't give it to BDM.
Yeah, boy.
But here's the other problem I have with it. I'm obsessed with my Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
I am obsessed.
Well, certainly you're not dailying your Rolex.
No, but I think I'm probably gonna wear both of them at the same time on occasion.
On the same wrist?
On the same wrist. Yes, I'm doing it.
Bruh.
So you're not having it.
No, you can't do that, bro.
I'm not gonna do that. The other funny thing is I've lost so much weight now. I have to get a link removed.
Nice.
Probably two, because my wrists are so much smaller. So there you go. It's the dog. Monty's dog is the beneficiary. That's right.
I'm sure.
Did you do a Jubilee bracelet or an oyster bracelet? Oyster. Always oyster. Always oyster. Jubilee is, I think there's a couple that I would put a Jubilee on. I just think it's the oyster. The oyster's clean, dude. Like the oyster is, it's everything you want. I love it, dude. I'm a huge fan of it.
As you should.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. And I think that if you guys look up Tiffany, the 2025 Tiffany Rolex, that's the one where that watch is, it's a Daytona, and that watch is gaudy. And date on a Jubilee is money. It is. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. It is, but I love it. I am thrilled to finally have a Rolo. I've waited a long time, and yeah, so I'm stoked. But
yeah, congrats, bro.
Timmy 2 watches. Yes, that's me.
Timmy 2 watches.
I'm gonna donate toys. So am I. I mentioned it before. I'm addicted to collecting watches, especially Submariner GMT Master 2 sprites. There's a bunch. And this plug of mine has them. And it is, it's a problem. I'll show you one more that I'm looking at. It is, I'm a huge fan of the GMT Master 2. I'm a huge fan of that particular Rolex. And the colorways of that Rolex are, dude, it is tough. There's a green one. If you just search Starbucks, and you're not a watch guy at all, is that correct, Jake?
I'm definitely not as big of a watch guy as you are. I would say that I would probably, I definitely want to own a Rolex one day. I think that I would probably be a guy that's got one or two, and I would not daily them. I would probably I would treat it the way someone might treat, their colognes or something. Like, just wear it to occasions, wear it on a Sunday when I am feeling it, whatever, like that kind of that's who I would be with watches probably.
This one right here, this is called a Starbucks.
Yeah, see, I love that. That's gorgeous.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of that colorway. Huge fan. There's no reason to get it. Let's be honest.
Oh, it's a want to thing. That's all.
Yeah. It's a want to thing. There's no question about it. But when you start looking at some of I think the Pepsi colorway is probably the best one. The one that I have is called Pepsi. But my God, there are so many different ones that I am just a huge fan of. There's one that's like a black top of the bezel top is black and then the bottom of the bezel is blue. Dude, I'm a huge fan of that colorway. I am. But there's so many of them.
Yeah.
There's so many of them that you got to have a plug because you could never afford to own them all.
They're too much, dude. That's the thing for me. If you know, you get a plug and you get a severe discount, okay, now that's worth it. But I'm not paying, 10 bands for a watch.
Monty, I can't play golf with even a hat. I'm too OCD. It messes with my swing. Yeah. Bro, I can't play golf, period. Yes, a Patek. Yes. I have a plug on Pateks too. Monty wears a Rolex so that he's a chick magnet. My wife loved it. Victor has owned 4 extremely rare Audemars Piguet Royals. Okay. I want a Seiko Manta Ray Prospects diver. So nice, but not gaudy. I like it. I'm actively scoping some plugs about getting a Daytona on the Oyster Flex strap, dude. There's one, and I don't know what you guys, why are we talking about Rolexes? But Daytona, let's see. The best one, the one that I really like is that Tiffany one. And it is, bros, it is stupid. It is so stupidly beautiful. Here it is right here. Look at this watch, you guys, as I upload it. This might be, and I saw this in person, and it's so stupidly, look at that watch. It is, what do you think that watch, Jake, if you had to guess, do you have any idea what that watch
70.
Almost double that. No, not almost double, about 75% more. $118,600. Who's paying that for a watch?
Not me.
Like, on principle, I cannot pay that for a watch. I can barely pay that for a car. You're crazy.
I'm just not interested. See, like, at least with a car, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I can go and I can have fun with this thing. The watch is, it's strictly a hey, I've got a Rolex. That's all it is.
That's it. That's like my Louis Vuitton obsession right now. Bros, that wallet, the Louis wallet, it might be, it is in my pocket. The Louis wallet is unbelievable. Having this is the favorite thing that I own. I love this even more than my sling bag. I love it. This goes back to where's the best place to live. It really does.
Agreed.
It really, really does. There is no doubt it goes back to that. Some watches appreciate in value, though. People treat them as investments.
And
True.
I have no problem with that, dude.
True.
I don't have an issue with that.
True. Can we talk about Japanese bears murking people? Because I'm fascinated with this story. Jake, have you seen this story at all?
Yeah. So you've got this city where you've got, just for whatever reason, a bunch of bear attacks. People are dying because there are more bears present. And the story goes that there was a cub that wandered into the city at one point. And ever since that, now the attacks have been on the rise, apparently, which I think is just absolutely wild. And when you consider that this, is this in Japan? Where was this?
This is Japan. And they are saying that, and it's several different parts of Japan. Sapporo, Japan, I believe is the proper pronunciation, has been hit with the most 13 deaths and over 100 other injuries. And these bears weigh 154 pounds on average. And the local authorities are saying that this is happening because of a poor acorn yield. So they are not able to eat. And it is causing chaos in the bear population. The bear population has also expanded due to long-term conservation and reduced hunting. One of the main things is it has increased the bear contact zone with humans. Black bears were about 15,000 strong in 2012. And now they're not sure how many black bears are roaming around the country. And they're eating humans. Like, does this keep you from going to Japan? No. But you probably ought to carry some bear spray. And the problem is, when these bears attack somebody, they put them down. Because once they attack one, they're going to attack more. Would this keep you from going to Sapporo, Japan?
I mean, yeah, probably. Honestly,
It would.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's just so many other options. Why would I go somewhere where there's frequent bear attacks? You know, and secondarily, I think that this is where I'm like, hey, well, I know we have all this gun violence in our country, but this ain't happening in our country because we can defend ourselves, which bears have figured out and other animals have figured out. How many mountain lions running around the community have there been that lasted about 10 minutes because, you know, Bob the Builder went into his basement? You know, like that's what does not take place in Japan and other countries.
Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
1,056 brown bears have been captured and killed in Hokkaido, Japan. And they still cannot keep them from attacking people. They still cannot keep them from attacking people. And they have murked 1,056 of the goddamn things. And they're still winning. They are still winning. And they have no way to slow these bears down. They have tried traps, hasn't worked. They have been able to catch the occasional bear inside of a cage with bait, but nothing has worked. And it's amazing to see these bears like causing roadway congestion because there's so many of them. I just don't know.
But you have to encourage them to go somewhere else. You have to give them a reason not to hunt your town.
7 people alone in the last 6 months are dead. A 60-year-old man cleaning an outdoor hot springs bath went missing in what is suspected to be the latest brown bear attack.
Ooh.
He's just, he gone.
See you later.
Just gone. Experts saying low yields of beech nuts because of climate change could be driving hungry animals into human areas to feed their hunger pings.
Yeah, bro. That's what I mean. They got to have something to eat. So because they don't want to attack humans. That's not their natural instinct. You know, they're desperate. They're desperate.
In the previous 12 months, 100 people have been injured. 85 severe injuries and at least 13 fatalities. At least 13. Could you fight off a bear?
Not with my bare hands.
No.
With a handgun.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a handgun, you could.
You're not fighting off a brown bear. What if I wear the watch on my right wrist?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I'm not a right wrist guy, though. I need dexterity in my right wrist, though.
Yeah, 21 times a month. That's what you need.
Figure it out. I would not. Would you even fight if a bear attacked you? Would you even fight the bear, or would you just lay down and be like, "Nah, I'm out. I'm out."
Yeah, I mean, it depends. What do I have at my disposal?
You're cleaning a hot tub.
No, I'm probably. Yeah, I'm probably running. That's honestly, like, I know they say to just lay there, but I'm probably running, dude. And best of luck.
I don't think there's any way to fight it off. A bear would kill a gorilla. It would kill 100 dudes. I think that's exactly right. I don't think a single dude is fighting that off. I really don't. I mean,
how many dudes would it take to kill a silverback?
Shut up. Don't start with this shit. 100 men or one bear, you decide.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
This week on the Monty program, 1,000 dudes versus Harambe.
The Harambe coming for that ass on the next Inside Edition. Right? Like, no. A bear is a killing machine the size of a car. Yes, it is.
Bro. That's what I'm saying. You need a weapon. That's your only defense. That's it.
Geoff, what's up, my guy? Just dropped a few good-sized brown bears on the John. I feel great. Oh, my God, you guys.
It was an absolute growler that came out of my butthole, and I named it a bear, you know.
I had such a pooping incident the other day. So living in a condo, if it's too big, it's a problem. I'm just telling you now.
We don't take any shit.
It took me like 2 hours to plunge that thing out.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding. I am not
take
kidding.
You a douche. You don't sit there and look at it.
And I, as a guy, listen, I don't eat a lot in volume at all. Like today, I've had a protein bar, a bowl of one apple cut up with a cup of blueberries, and I had a bunch of roasted potatoes for lunch. But dude, I put one down the other day and it would not flush. It would not. And I got a brand new plunger, and I'm like, my wife got home, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, well, I guess you need to call maintenance. I'm like, I'm not calling maintenance, brother.
Well, hey, Bob, dude, can you come up to my room? I just put down an absolute nuclear growler into the bowl.
Come on in, Bob.
Yeah, come on in, dude. I mean, if you cough on it and die in my bathroom, I'm not calling the the leasing office, but you come in and do the best you can, bud.
Not doing it. Not doing it. Growlers, I'm totally stealing that. Yeah, dude, you put a growler down the hole and dude. No, I'm not cutting my poop logs in half.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's like breaking spaghetti when you put it in the pan. I'm not doing it. There are some things you just do not do. You do not break your growlers off. Absolutely not. Yeah, well, Rolex, bear attacks, and monster poops. What do you want from me? It's what we do. What are you looking at, Jake?
I've received some news about our day-to-day job that will be beneficial to us tomorrow. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, I'm happy about that. If it is what I think it is.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Anyway,
yeah.
I think that it is, it's a sacrilege to cut that thing in half. We're not doing that. We are not doing that at all, Mike Smith. But we are doing this show.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we really leave it with cutting growlers in half?
Yeah. Is that not this show?
Okay. Can we leave it? Well, let's leave it on waffle chicken.
Speaking of growlers.
You were actually excited about this.
Well, I was just curious. Would this allow you to try Chick-fil-A again?
Absolutely not. Absolutely 100% not going to happen. Not going to happen. No chance that is happening.
I mean,
does that even look good to you? That bacon looks, dude, come on.
Well, listen, first of all, on premise alone, waffles and fried chicken is bomb, and I haven't had it in probably a decade.
Amazing.
But this would not make me be like, yeah, I got to run over to Chick-fil-A, which is about 20 minutes from my house.
You have a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, about 20 minutes from the house.
Okay. Oak State James, who's now a TCU fan, trader, turncoat. I want that chicken and waffles. See, but this is why you keep getting colonoscopies, James.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you wouldn't be doing research projects on your butthole if you weren't at Buc-ee's constantly.
No way. Do not like sweet with regular food. Cannot stand McGriddle. Oh, are you out of your mind?
Dude, the McGriddle's goated, bro.
Are you kidding me? Me looking at a McGriddle lovingly on the menu board. Are you kidding me right now? I love a good McGriddle. Oh man, it's been too long.
See, John Ritter, John, this is the kind of energy we need right here at the end of the show, dude. Last week you said sports radio will never be the same, but this is the kind of sports radio we need sometimes. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't drop a growler bomb on a FCC sanctioned sports radio show. This is why you're on YouTube, dude. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say, dude.
I mean, I don't disagree. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Well,
there you
bro,
go.
I'm glad that we've graduated. You've shaved the stash. You got the rollie. The Louis wallet. Everything's going in the right direction. So that's
the
good
Louis
news.
box. The Louis box I got the other day was profitable. I'm telling you guys, the Louis plug and the Rolo plug have come through quite nicely.
Yeah.
Quite nicely. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And yeah.
You should be.
The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Be careful. There's a lot of people traveling. There's a lot of people on the roads. If you find yourself in an accident, if the worst happens, make sure you're ready to get the best at theadvocates.com, where you never pay a penny out of pocket to get clear, risk-free advice. Theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.